at Progressive.com.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
Come on in, sit right down. Keep your hands up, keep your chin down. Shut the door. Time to go with Randy Harrison. Knockout Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, Knockout Radio with Randy Harris is about to start. So get ready for the best MMA talk, games, interviews, prizes, and surprises anywhere. For Knockout Radio, I'm the voice, Ray Flores. And now, here's Knockout Radio.
Hey-o. Hey, everybody.
What is going on, everybody? Coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility again, back here in Pinellas County. Matt, what dungeon you coming to from today?
Coming to you from my home, man. So
I thought you were getting kicked out.
No, that's why we started this whole thing, so I didn't have to leave my house, man. Like, the more I see on TV, the less I want to engage with crazy people and road rage and public and humans.
Well, I got some stories, from the past 10 days or so. But I put a post up on the Book of Face. I went to the Smashing Machine, the premiere in Las Vegas last Tuesday, and my post said, Ryan Bader playing Mark Coleman did a phenomenal job. The guy playing Mark Kerr, mediocre at best. Yeah. And the guy playing Boss Rutan was so unbelievable. They should have gotten somebody that could have played that part a whole lot better than the actor they got to play Boss Rutan. They're my opinions.
Yeah, well, most people don't know what you're talking about.
I know, but do you?
So Boss Rutan played himself.
Yes, he did.
Nobody knows who Boss Rutan is. So, so for the YouTube fans that are watching now, he was a legendary fighter.
Okay. Just don't call him a legendary UFC fighter. Boss Rutan is definitely a legend. But the guy who stole the show of that movie is joining us right now. He has been, and since you've been saying, Matt, that people are getting close to the record that Ryan Bader has for being on Knockout Radio, we need to extend that lead. Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
What's going on, guys?
Let's first, before we get into the movie, what's new in your life? What's going on? How's the family?
They're all good. Family, kids are all playing sports, running around crazy. I just got back from about a week and a half of kind of promoting the movie. Vegas, LA, New York, all that kind of stuff, but all good. Now back and kind of buckling down and training for this fight in New Year's Eve.
Awesome. Now, I put a post up, and you'll get this. A lot of the Knockout Radio people will. Some of the newbies may not. My post said, Ryan Bader playing Mark Coleman did an outstanding job. The actor portraying Mark Kerr was so-so, and the actor portraying Boss Rutan, I'm sure they could have found somebody better to play Boss Rutan. Tell us, how did this whole thing come about? You're in a cage, you're fighting, all of a sudden you're on the big screen.
Yeah, it was through a text. Benny Safdie, the director, I got a text from him, and then I didn't know who he was. I'm familiar with his work now, and I watched Uncut Gems, but I kind of blew him off for a while because I really didn't know exactly what he was talking about. He was talking about this MMA film and whatnot. That meant could mean a bunch of different things, and so we kind of played phone tag for like 3 weeks, and then finally I get on the phone with him. I call, and he asked to FaceTime. And then from there, we talked for FaceTime for about 40 minutes, told me about the project, what he was doing. I told him I was familiar. I saw the documentary back in the day. And then he asked if I was interested. I said, yeah. I'm like, what's next? What do we do? And he goes, all right, I'm going to send you a script. It's hard to script in the movie. And then we'll do a audition next week. And I was like, oh, that's basically my worst nightmare, right? I'm thinking I go to a place, I go in front of people, audition. We just did it on Zoom, just him and I. And then he said, all right, great job. Text me, good job. but didn't hear anything for 3 weeks. So I thought, okay, whatever, didn't get it. And then got one more text. It was what was it? In April, he goes, all right, I'll see you May 12th in Vancouver. And just went from there, just 0 to 100.
Now, did you want to start acting? Is this something that you looked into and planned, or is this just out of the clear blue?
It was out of the blue, and it was one of those deals where, it came at a good time, and the whole story, that's my lineage into MMA, these amateur wrestlers, good wrestlers going in and really getting thrown in the deep end right away because they're good wrestlers, and so I came up, watching Coleman and Kerr, and I've always followed the guys that came through my, same path. And so it was just a kind of a perfect storm. I'm like, well, I can do this, right? I think. I had no idea. It's kind of overwhelming, but you get there, you get comfortable. I got there in probably 2 weeks of stunt training. So got to kind of know everybody before we even really started, doing scenes.
How much involvement, did Mark Kerr and Mark Coleman have?
I mean, yeah, Kerr was very involved, and then, Coleman came up a little bit, but Kerr was involved from the beginning. Dwayne was, talking to him, I think 6 years ago about kind of making this story. And then, it looked like, hey, maybe it wouldn't, COVID happened and the movie industry kind of shut down. And then they revisited it, and Benny Safdie, got involved, and it just kind of snowballed and got made. What was crazy is I got cast probably a month before we started filming. So they were scrambling a little bit, and then but it all finally came together.
One more from me, and then I'll throw it to Matt for a question or two.
Yeah.
Mark has been, Mark and I obviously talked. I've known Mark a long time. First, he's telling me, well, in your opinion, what is the movie about? Is it a fight movie? Mark seems to think it's a love story. What direction do you think it is?
Yeah, it's almost like a story about, I would say relationships, but not the kind. Yeah, there are relationship with your girlfriend and your friends and whatnot, but just kind of the relationship with yourself and fighting and all that. Mark his identity was a fighter, undefeated, the next big thing, takes some losses, has some, addiction issues. And who is he? He's thinking that to himself, and so it's a different kind of movie for sure. It's not what you'd expect, obviously it's a true story, but people are going in there expecting just a whole montage of fight scenes. That's not it. It kind of explores that deeper realm of addiction, different relationships, toxic ones, and this and that. And at the end of the day, it's what really happened.
Go ahead, Matt.
So Ryan, what's up, buddy? Hey,
What's going on?
So, did the director say why he casted you? Was it your body composition? Was it your fighting style? Was it because you had a recognizable face as a double champion and it would help with fill in movie theaters? What was it about your characteristic that you really thought you were the right guy for it?
I mean, at the beginning, I would say, he never told me, right? He kind of did, but I would say my physicality, I was able to obviously make the fight scenes authentic and in that aspect and whatnot, and Benny's kind of known for taking on actors and throwing them in there. But he was awesome, and he'd always just say, I just knew you could do it. And then I have other people saying he wanted you from the beginning. And so when we were playing that phone tag, he was really trying to get a hold of me. He was getting a hold of my Brazilian training partner that doesn't speak any English, and they sent me an email. And I forwarded me an email. I don't know how they didn't get my email or whatnot, but I was like, oh, this is kind of real. I thought they were talking about some training or something, so, but I had a blast, and it's overwhelming going in there and thinking about oh, we're going to make a movie. but once I got there and comfortable and realized really how a movie's made, it's kind of day by day. And yeah, you don't have to know the whole script and memorize the whole thing right then and there. It was very manageable, and I started to have a lot of fun. First scene was overwhelming a little bit, but kind of like grounded myself, got it done, and went well. And I'm like, oh, I can do this.
I saw a video of you in the makeup chair. Talk about what that process was like. How long did it take? And was that every day you had to go through that?
Yeah. So a lot of fighters in the movie. We have a lot of tattoos. Dwayne Johnson has a lot of tattoos. And so, yeah, I was probably in there at the beginning, like 2 hours a day. And then we kind of got the system down, right? Because they got to match the rest of your skin. It's got to look good on camera, so it takes some trial and error, but it is, it's like paint, like not coming off paint. So after you film the scene, it could be one scene, it could be, you're there all day filming. I mean, you got to get like scrubbed with alcohol, all that. It takes about 40 minutes to get it off. We tried to like wear it at home, because the next day we're starting early. I'm like stuck to my sheets, and it's kind of flaking. So we just had to redo it anyway. So that was kind of a big challenge every day, getting in there, getting all the tattoo covered. And then, obviously these fight scenes were grappling and we have Velcro and stuff like that. And so like touch-ups in between, but I was surprised how well it lasted throughout, a fight scene.
What have the premieres been like? And have you had the great big one, whether it's in LA or wherever, where, all the other movie stars, the one in Vegas was, media and some fighters. Have you gotten the Dwayne Rock Johnson premiere yet?
Yeah, we went to, I'd probably say the two big ones were at TIFF, the Toronto Film Festival. That was kind of where my first premiere ever. And then we did one in LA that you're probably talking about, and have like the little after party after. And I've probably seen it 5 times now, sitting through those ones, and then one in Vegas, obviously. And we did one in Arizona here, just kind of the smaller ones, but I probably did 2 of the bigger premieres.
Give me your critique of your performance.
I'm like my worst critic here, and I don't like watching myself, never liked it, and so Benny Safdie, the director, my wife got to come up to Vancouver and come on set, and he was showing her a bunch of the scenes, like more of the dramatic scenes, the dialogue scenes, and I would always just back up and be like, I really don't want to watch it, and I never did. And so the first time I watched the movie, it was pretty nerve-wracking, not knowing, right? And, after it was all said and done, I felt fine. And second time, I could actually enjoy the movie, And, I'm my worst critic. Now that I know, I feel like I could do better and better.
Ryan. Okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. So Ryan, do you watch your old fights? I mean, can you watch your old fights?
Yeah. That doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's a weird thing, and I guess it's somewhat normal. Some people don't even, some actors don't even go to their premiere because they don't want to watch themselves, and some people love it. I'm just one of those guys that was like, don't love it, but I love the story, and I had so much fun being, a part of something and making something. I've never really done that before, so it was a blast at the end of the day. But yeah, even watching it for the 5th time, I'm still like,
So do you have the acting bug now? Do you want to continue this?
It was fun. I had a lot of fun just breaking it down. And then, like I said, I've never really been creative before, and to be able to like, okay, this is a scene. It's pretty emotional. You're trying to get your buddy back on his feet. And, I had a lot of fun. And it reminded me a lot of fighting as far as like, hey, we're going to prepare. And we're going to go in to this big event on this date and get it done. And then they're like release and relief after is, I guess I'm always looking, forward to that. So that gave me that. So I definitely do some more and having different opportunities thrown our way.
Adam Sandler's known to always use his buddies, use all of the same actors. So does Dwayne do the same thing? Are you now on his list?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah. We have a good relationship, you know, and then Benny was awesome. Everybody on there was great. You know, yeah, we'll see in the future. You know, it's just a new world for me. And so I'm kind of learning that as I'm going.
Does this in kind of a weird way rejuvenate you for what's coming up New Year's Eve, getting back into, you know, what you're most known for, and that's fighting?
Yeah, I mean, it did, because I obviously had to go back and watch all the Pride fights and all that, and really got into them. I'm like, man, that would be a lot of fun, you know. And at that point, I didn't know, hey, am I fighting again? We'll see, you know, if there's a good deal coming our way, whatnot, you know. But when we got out of there and we talked to Ryzen contacted us and be like, hey, we know you were in the movie. Coleman, you know, won this heavyweight Grand Prix, you know, however long ago, 20 plus years. Would you like to do it for real? And that stood out to me. That was one of the ones that, like, that's going to be fun. That's something I've always wanted to do, is like fight in Pride in the ring, different rule set. And so, yeah, that one is like giving me a little rejuvenation.
Final one for me. I don't know if you have something, Matt. I always ask, you know, the celebrities and fighters when they come on, kind of a crazy story with Happy Days. You know, did you take any? I asked Anson Williams, did you get anything? And he said he was offered Henry Winkler's leather jacket and he declined. So my question, did you? Yeah, he said it's the stupidest thing he's ever done, that there was only 3. One's in the Smithsonian. Henry got the second. They offered him the third. He goes, no, I'm good. They asked him, did he want to buy the jute box for $1,000? He said, no, I'm good.
Really?
Imagine that. So did you get anything? Did you take anything from the set?
So I would have to take it, basically seal it, you know, because they you got to get all they come by and collect it like every day and give it to you every day. And so at the end, I'm like, oh, they're going to be like, hey, you want to just take these home? They came back and collected it, you know, but I did get, I just wanted the shirt I was wearing most of the time, the Hammer House shirt. And I was able to get one of those, though, for sure.
Very cool. Matt?
So, Rand, I got the map behind me. I always like to ask our guests, you know, where they come from, where their heart is, not where they are necessarily raised, but like where they vibe with, like the community that really makes them who they are, whether it's a fighter, grit, or just who you are as a person. So obviously Hollywood might be the new home, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the stars. But where is Ryan Bader from? The double
Man, for me, it's the mountains. You know, I grew up in Reno, Nevada. I was born in Idaho, you know, but I always gravitate towards the mountains. You know, I'm pretty outdoorsy. And
a particular mountain, because I've got a whole thumbtack wall. So we're gonna put you on the map. That's where Ryan Bader's from.
Okay, trying to think. You know, I kind of grew up in the Sierra Nevadas, but you can put me up near Payson, Arizona.
Payson, Arizona.
And yeah, in the mountains up in there.
Our first Arizona.
All right, there you go, Ryan. As always, it was great seeing you last week.
My man, appreciate
Congrats,
it,
bro.
Fantastic job. It truly was, and we'll talk before your next back into the cage, ring, square circle,
sir.
Whatever it's going to be out there in Japan.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Say hi to the family for me.
Will do.
All right, take care. That is Ryan Bader. He is the man. And I thought he did an outstanding job. I always look at this, and I know we need to hit this break. I always look at, a lot of times you can watch something and you can tell they're acting. If they're, to me, he just was there. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but he lived that life for so long. I mean, that's what he did. Like how many gyms and fight camps where you help your brother or sister out in time of crisis, or they're going through addiction. I mean, it's part of the fight community. I mean, and how many times have people that we know have been mentors or been on the receiving end of help? And so I don't think it was outside of his range by any means. I mean, he's lived it since college.
No, and that's what I'm saying. To me, it didn't seem like he was acting.
That's genuine.
Like he was just living. All right, so I know we went a little bit over. Let's go hit this break. I kind of changed up our break schedule for the time being. We'll see how it plays out that way. Coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. This is Knockout Radio.
Hey, this is Mark Mike Creed. You're talking sports with Randy Harris.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
You want to have a drink? Where do you go?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it?
That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field. Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Check out fantasypets.com, where fantasy meets cutting-edge technology. We create breathtaking 3D printed fantasy creatures that captivate hearts and minds, from the T-Rex to the dragons and the shark to the crocodile. Every fantasy pet is a testament to our dedication and precision and quality. You can request custom designs and bulk pricing as well. Go to fantasypets.com. That's fantasypets.com.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
Ooh, yeah. The Macho Man Randy Savage, and when I want to catch up on all the sports, I listen to the Randy Harris Show. That's the bottom line.
All right, we are back. I'm coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility here in Pinellas County. Matt at his house. Leslie has COVID. I didn't even know COVID was still around.
How long has she had COVID? She's been out for like 3 weeks.
Well, no, she just went on a cruise. She went back on Margaritaville at Sea.
Oh, nice.
She just did one of the free military cruises. 7 days cost her $160.
I need to go back on that cruise. That was a great time. Cozumel.
Well,
amazing.
I was scheduled to go in 2 weeks, but it was over Halloween, and I kind of want to be here when my granddaughter goes trick or treating. So, kind of a funny story. I have an app. It's called OneQ. It's a question app, and they pay you to answer questions.
Okay.
You basically tell the base of what you do. Like I just got one asking about flights and that kind of stuff. But every once in a while, they'll throw an answer in to see if you're really paying attention, to see if you're really, reading and clicking what's honest. So it asked, have you done any of these things in the last month? And it was a list of 12. Flown on an airplane, rented a car, took a cruise, ate dinner, rode on a submarine to your house, redid your roof. And like how they just slid that in about the submarine just to see if you're paying attention or if you're clicking every single one, to make these awesome 25 cents for every time you answer a question. But I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, being a Navy guy, that's not too far of a stretch, right? Ride on a submarine. Didn't you ride on a yellow submarine?
No, I'm wearing a yellow shirt.
Look
at the shirt I got. Look at the shirt I got. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
How about that? The smashing machine. I don't know where Mark thought that Mark Coleman, two things that I believe Mark was upset about. One, that he wasn't depicted as he really was back then. It really didn't centered on his drinking, his abuse. It was Mark Kerr, and he would have liked it shown a little bit because he's so proud. We're all so proud of where Mark Coleman is today.
Sure.
From where he was back then.
Oh, of course.
And he tells me all the time, because I still believe Mark Coleman is the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. I saw it. I lived it. It's kind of like when I make that argument about Warren Sapp with the Buccaneers. I was in the locker room every day. I know what Warren Sapp did every day on the field with the team. I saw Mark Coleman back then. And Mark Coleman would tell me, imagine if I wasn't a drunk. Where would I be? What could I? Well, but he's handled it well.
I don't know though. I mean, I think alcohol gives people that liquid courage. I mean, maybe he wouldn't have been as dominant if he like would have actually thought about how dangerous the sport was, or how risky it was, or if you were just numb and you're like, let's go fight.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not
Some
in
of the
this
best
case.
fights I've ever seen are in the street after people have been drinking.
I did not see it, but allegedly one of the greatest fights of all time happened last night on Dana White Contender Series.
I heard both got $25,000.
Both got contracts. They both got contracts, and they both got the $25,000. Last Tuesday, when I was there in attendance, 4 of the 5 winners got signed, and Dana was pissed at the first guy. That he took it lightly. He was a heavy favorite. He couldn't finish the fight. He goes, go back and get some more fights. So it was an interesting week last week. So Dana White Contender Series, I thought the radio show was outstanding with one exception, and that's me. I made the mistake.
What? You're taking ownership of a mistake? You didn't put it on me? Oh, all right, let's go. Let's hear it.
Well, no, I mean, I'm doing everything. I'm pushing all the buttons. I'm doing all that stuff now. And I barely remember, waking up. And Joe Pfeiffer was a professional more than you were when you had a problem, where you started whining on air. I can't hear. He made the comment. Again, he's not the professional broadcaster, but then went through the entire interview with his microphone off. That's what the problem was.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't the Randy rub in full effect at UFC 320? Did every guest last week won Saturday night?
No.
Well,
it's impossible. It's one of those, I win every time, I lose every time when I get both fighters that are fighting each other. So 2 of the fighters fought each other.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Vanderford fought, as well. Some of, but they were all fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that was after the show. That wasn't when I was here. Maybe it's the Matt rub. Maybe it's a different kind of good luck.
No, we don't talk about your rub.
Everyone I talked to won last week.
Well, that's not true, because you talked to both of them, just like I talked to both of them. So it's impossible. It's a win, but it's also a loss. So what did we have?
Well,
did we have 4 or 5? We had 5, right? I think we had 5. So we went 4-1. But that's the best we could have done.
Sure.
And the one dude, I didn't tell you when he was on Adobe, or however I'm going to butcher his name. He was so calm that I just knew when he got in there and that door closed, it was not going to be pretty.
Yeah, he's a scary dude.
And it was a fun night. And I think John Jones will be on the White House card, by the way.
Okay. Tom Aspinall?
It will not be Tom Aspinall.
Okay. Who's he going to fight?
What fight do you want to see?
John Jones versus
Alex Pereira.
Yeah. Is that what you want to see?
Really? I think so. So. I know that Dana doesn't really want Alex to go up, but he said it in the press conference. I put it on the YouTube. I posted, the video where he said that his team was in the PI all week pushing for Alex to go up to heavyweight. That's what he wants to do.
I think the fans want to see Aspinall. I think if people want to, because they actually give Aspinall the advantage. I think most fight fans think that Aspinall beats Jones because of his striking and his poise. So I think that's the fight to make.
I don't know. Not after Saturday night. I don't know. But we'll see. Dana did not rule out John Jones on the card. I just believe that John Jones will not fight for the title. So that rules out Tom. If he's still worried about, you should still be worried no matter what, whether he's fighting Alex or he's fighting Tom. I don't think he fights for the heavyweight title because I don't think he'll fight after that fight. So the last thing you want is to ruin the division and Tom Aspinall. John Jones goes up there, and by the way, the fight is not July 4th. I'm a little disappointed in that.
Yeah, what happened there?
They're saying it would be just too much of a cluster. And let's be real honest, okay? What happens on July 4th? What's
fireworks?
Fireworks. Could you imagine fireworks going off nonstop outside?
Worried about snipers and
Exactly.
gunfire.
Exactly. Now, I still think you're going to have to worry about it, but the fireworks, I think, changes that up a little bit. I can't be 100% sure, but I'm 99.5% sure someone who will be in attendance at the White House
Conor
Guard.
McGregor.
No, that would be me.
Well, I mean us.
No, I mean me.
No, you and I. I got clearance. I got background clearance. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a good guy.
Good. Well, I don't know which order I'm going to nail those down and defend. Good guy, credentialed, clearance, none of the above. But I spoke to a couple people, and I even asked a couple people, do I need to go up and talk to Dana? And they're like, no, we got you. So
nice.
I am pretty excited. I'm looking forward to that. But we'll get back to the White House Guard. What an incredible night of fights, honestly. I don't want to say that I'm glad that somebody who missed weight because they've been on the show before, but I so dislike when they miss weight and then they go in there and win the fight. How much did that affect the fight? Obviously a lot. You know, whether you believe it or not, you're not killing your body. You're not, and then for the fighter to tell the other fighter, well, you got paid. I mean, come on.
I mean, weight issues and cut strategies. I mean, they're going to have to change it eventually. It will change. Eventually, it will be day of,
I don't think it will be. I wished it was. I think it should be. But I think what needs to happen, and I've said this for as long as I've known you, which is a long, way too long time, there needs to be a bigger penalty. So what? So she lost, or he lost, whichever the case is, 20%. 25%, big deal.
Yeah. Right.
I know that we've said this numerous times, but neither one of us, is going to go and eventually do it. How many times does somebody who missed weight lose? How rare?
It's actually not what, I mean, the numbers were like 50-50. I mean, it really wasn't.
I find that hard to believe, but still, it's just like if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Well,
yeah.
If the penalty is you're going to lose 20%, why put yourself through all that?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, so I got a different approach to all this, as you know. I'm I'm a self-proclaimed biohacker.
Self-proclaimed. Thank you for throwing that in.
Yeah. But I just shared on my Facebook last night on my wall, that very little know that there's like 50,000 atoms of copper inside of our mitochondria in our cell. So, these athletes are doing all these extreme measures, to make a weight goal, but really the performance enhancing comes down to mitochondria function, ATP production, mitochondria function, copper, and electrolytes. So when the MMA community finally catches up with the biohackers, you're going to see some like predominant performances that will have nothing to do with like making weight or missing weight. It's going to come everything down to like cellular performance, and I'm here for all that smoke.
So I brought up, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I'm sure you didn't look at any of the videos that were posted on the Knockout Radio YouTube channel when Ramiz said at the press conference, after he beat Austin, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. He was trying to like shove the blood like in Austin's mouth. He goes, I don't know if it's legal or not, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, I mean, look, McGregor's, just got suspended for how many months? 14 months or 16 months?
18. Because
of cheating. Popped on a drug test or whatever.
I'm so surprised at that too.
Then surprisingly, they're gonna let him go back and retrofit it to like September, so he just cleared in time to make the White House card next year.
I don't even care if he's on it. I truly don't. It's going to be a cluster F enough without him. Imagine what it'll be with him. And now that I'm producing, the videos and stuff, I may have to stay, while he graces us with his appearance at a press conference. Not a big Conor fan.
But he's a BKFC guy now. I mean, him and Mike Perry and Dave Feldman are in cahoots? I mean, does he come back to the UFC? Does Dana allow it?
Well, it's
now
not.
that he's
First
an
of all,
owner of a
it's not that will Dana allow it. He has 2 fights left on his contract.
Right.
So unless he's released, and yes, why would you not bring in arguably the biggest draw on what will arguably be, according to the president, Dana White, CEO, the greatest card ever? How many champions, non-American champions, will be on that card?
Yeah.
You know, do we need to worry as Americans that we want some Americans on the card that can win? Again, look at how many non-Americans are champions.
Sure. I mean, and then like, you know, if you do have non-Americans, like, will ICE be in attendance? I mean, like, well, you know, because Bad Bunny, who's scheduled to perform at the Super Bowl, you know, he canceled his North American tour because of ICE raids and concerns, and you know, so what will it do to like immigration? You know, like at the White House? Can you imagine?
Can I say the word hypocrite?
Okay.
All right. So this bunny man who runs around in a dress, I guess, which is doesn't bother me. I don't care. But he cancels his North American tour because he's afraid, but he's taking the free gig at the Super Bowl.
I'm sure it's not free. He's getting paid well for it.
Well, no, he doesn't get paid.
Oh, you don't get paid to do the Super Bowl?
No.
Really?
Yeah. That's why Taylor Swift's not doing it.
Really? They don't pay for the performance?
No, they don't pay. They don't need to pay. It's the Super Bowl.
Wow.
It's the biggest, greatest event there is. You know, they've had the Rolling Stones, they've had Paul McCartney, they've had Prince.
Yeah, but Paul McCartney wasn't an American. People always said that it's not an American halftime artist. Like, you know, it's
who's upset?
The Bad Bunny. Oh, you know, the fans. Like,
no, they're not.
Internet.
I don't think they're upset that he's not an American. I think they're upset that, you know, the dress wearing, you know, I don't know what his gimmick is. I don't know anything about him other than I saw him on a wrestling show once.
I think the biggest concern is that, you know, all of his songs are in Spanish. And so his feedback when people are like, hey, you need to sing songs in English or whatever, he says, no, you need to learn Spanish.
No, you just need to go. You just need to go get a beer during, you know, his performance. All right, let's go hit a break. We'll stay on the new schedule, and when we come back, we will have more chats. We'll talk more about UFC 320. Talk about the Bucks, what they did in Seattle. A lot of things to get off my chest when we return.
Hi, I'm James Lawson, and you know who you are on the other side of the dial, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
8-Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8-Man Strong.
Rhino Cards, located at 406 11th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, is your one-stop card collection facility, specializing in all sports, Pokemon, Star Wars, and of course, Knockout Radio's favorite, the UFC cards. If you're looking to purchase, sell, or trade, then Rhino Cards is the place for you. Details are coming on some very awesome UFC card giveaways, thanks to Rhino Cards as well. That's Rhino Cards, conveniently located in St. Petersburg, on 4th Street and 11th Avenue North.
This is Randy Harris for Mick for Hair at Got Split End Salon in Pinellas Park, our official hair care and grooming provider who caters to everyone, women, men, kids, and senior citizens in an affordable, upscale environment staffed with the most talented professionals in the business. Visit Mick for Hair at Got Split Ends today at 4376 Park Boulevard in Pinellas Park, or call them at 727-290-9873.
Got bills and looking for work but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
This is Mike Allstein, and you're listening to Knockout Radio.
All right, we are back hanging out here at the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility in Pinellas County. Matt in his garage, dungeon, living room, storage unit, wherever the heck.
Home office, man. And I see Mike Allstott, the A train coming out of the break. Saw him out in Seattle. You were in Seattle for the Bucks walk off. They call them the Cardiac Kids.
Again.
Yeah. So talk about the Cardiac Kids and life on the road.
You know, it's funny. All of a sudden, national media, they're saying and it's true. Granted, the season doesn't end 5 weeks in, but he is your MVP right now. He is
greatest
the most
Buck of all
valuable player in
time.
the league. And the rookie of the year as of right now. So
yeah, and do you agree with Baker being the greatest Buccaneer of all time? I mean, is that officially cemented already?
what are you talking about?
I've seen reports. I got inside sources. You know, my boy Rock, my boy Tim, Jesus, you know, all those guys. But yeah,
Tim Jesus. Who's Tim Jesus?
Jesus, Tim. No, all the reports I see online are talking about Baker Mayfield, the greatest Buccaneer of all time.
Not a single person has said that.
I think Glazers said that he is the embodiment of the city. He's way more than a football player. He is Tampa Bay.
I agree with that. That doesn't make him the greatest Buccaneer of all time.
That came from the owner of the Buccaneers. If he said it, it's got to be true.
You know what was?
I was going to say.
Ed said it.
So ownership said, Derek Brooks, step aside. We got Baker Mayfield now.
That's right. That's right. That's what it is.
Whatever you're drinking or swallowing, I want some of that.
No, you don't. Trust me.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, look, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. The Glazers said it. I didn't say it. I mean,
can you pull that up somewhere that we can see it?
We want to make sure you're not just making it up.
Your source.
Yeah, I can find it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find it on the next break. No, otherwise I'll take. But yeah, it's great. I mean, but it's fun to watch, right? I mean, it's close games, and it always comes down to like the last play, and even the game they lost, like they had a chance to win there. I mean, it was just like that. So you know, it's been an exciting season so far. Way more exciting than I thought it was going to be at the beginning of it.
No, I agree with you 1,000%, but that's not what you just said. You said the greatest Buccaneer of all time, and that's not the case.
That's just to rile you and Ed up. See which one of you had a heart attack first.
Well,
and I got Ed to put his camera on, so it must be working.
No, you know what I was thinking, Randy? You know what I was thinking the other. I always try to make an analogy, but of quarterbacks we've seen in the past, like let's say Elway. I think Mahomes is sort of got that Elway look. You know, that the reckless, can run with his feet and with his legs and throws a dart and seems to you know have that fourth quarter instinct. And then I was thinking about, especially this last week with Baker Mayfield, reminds me, and I'm not saying it's the same thing, but reminds me of Brett Favre.
I knew you were going to say that, and I was ready to jump in because Brett Favre never ran.
Well, yeah, he did. Not as much as Baker, but
right.
Brett Favre definitely got out of some sticky situations by using his feet.
I brought that up, and I don't remember if it was in Seattle or if I was talking to somebody in Vegas that, everybody was all over Baker for the interception against the Eagles. And I said, that's Brett Favre. What I'm saying, that's what they would say about Brett Favre. He'd pull 4 victories out. He'd do all sorts of stuff to win 4 games, and then he throws an interception and he's a bum.
Mm.
And that's basically what they're doing with Baker right now as well.
Yeah, and one of the knocks on Baker last year was he threw too many interceptions, not as much as Jameis, of course. But look what he's done this year. He's got 10 touchdowns and 1 pick.
And 1 pick, yeah. Good stuff.
Speaking of quarterbacks throwing stuff.
Hold on. Let's go to we're going. We got a guest.
Okay.
We got a guest. So let's introduce our guest.
Oh, there he is.
Our correspondent up in the great Northeast, Mike Straka, out at covered BKFC for us. And
getting taller by the week.
Hold on a second. What's up with the hairdo?
He's getting taller by the week.
What do you mean? What's up with the hairdo?
Is that little spiked up action going on there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, it looks it.
What a win.
So update us. Tell us about the event. Tell us how it went. You were in attendance?
The event was great. It was extremely entertaining. Mike Perry is a machine. That man can walk through anything. Jeremy Stevens hit him with some power bombs in the first round, and Mike Perry just walked right through them. It was just incredible, the guy. And you know, Randy, the most interesting thing about Mike Perry was in the post-fight press conference. You know how Mike Perry he's an ultimate, promoter. He's always selling. He's always doing his job of selling himself and selling the promotion. And this time was different. This time he went from student of fighting to professor of fighting. The way he was talking about how his strategy, his body, how he tapers off, how he trains, it was a completely different Mike Perry. I mean, this kid we've seen this kid grow up basically in front of our eyes. I was so impressed with him. Just really all around great fighter, great guy, really smart guy. Conor McGregor was entertaining. McGregor was very entertaining in this event. Well, I think David Feldman was happier here in Newark, New Jersey than he was in Philadelphia, if you can believe that.
Wow, interesting. Well, what I took number one off the top, not even the fights themselves, okay? And yes, a lot of the fights were unbelievable, but the photo and both of them, we all know because we've had Jessica and Christina on the program. Obviously, they did not like each other. Obviously, it was not a show. It wasn't to promote. There was a lot of things said back and forth. And after the fight, Christina went to the hospital room to see Jessica. I thought that was awesome, and that's what this sport's all about. Not the BS and the trash talk, but I want it real, and that was real. And then, like they both said, we squashed it in there. She put on an awesome performance, and I've spoken to both of them since, and big ups to them for doing that.
It was an incredible fight. Christine knocked her with a right hook. And Randy, Matt, you can hear her nose break from 12, 15 rows back. I've been to over 100 fights, and I've never heard that before. It was nasty. I thought she broke her face. I literally thought that Jessica's face was broken in half. I was so afraid for her. The sound it made, and the way she stopped, she looked like she was blind. I don't know if you saw the clip of when she gets hit. She steps back and she holds her face, and she's kind of lost. And it looks like she lost her eyesight. It was nasty looking. And to Christine's credit, she didn't go in for the kill. She knew it was over then. She could have, and she was in all her rights to do so, and she didn't. And I think that showed class on her part. And I think you're right. I think they did quash whatever beef they had. And I think a lot of fighters do that once they go in. They have that mutual respect for each other. But man, that was a nasty break, Randy. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen a lot of fights, man. I've seen a lot of broken bones, but that was ooh. And I don't know if it was harder to watch because there were two women fighting. And Jessica, being an attractive woman, you don't want to see anybody get their face bashed in like that. And I don't know if that affected the way I felt about it. And it may have. It probably did. Just me talking about it suggests that it did. But I think that it was a nasty break. But, man, what good fights. There were some really good fights on that card. Better than most people anticipated.
Well, talk about the other ones. We know about the main and the co-main, and we know that. And I don't know if, we want to address Frankie and have you checked on him and is everything okay? But talk about some of the other fights first.
Well, I was actually worried for Jimmy Rivera because the kid he fought was a big kid. He had a couple knockouts in BKFC. I think his name is Simon, right? Or forget his last name. I'm sorry. But anyhow, Jimmy came through and knocked him out, man. Jimmy was really good. He was really, really good. And he was almost a full foot shorter than this guy. But it was an interesting night for Jimmy. Preparing for Frankie Edgar, going in against a totally different person. And, knowing that he was going to retire after that fight, I think Frankie not being there kind of affected his mood. Like everything changed for Jimmy Rivera after Frankie didn't get cleared to fight for that fight. No, I have not heard back from Frankie at all. I've heard some rumors. I've heard some things. I've heard some talk. Nothing worth reporting because I didn't verify anything. But I think that I think you'll see Frankie and Jimmy fight in BKFC. Jimmy even said it after the fight. He said, "This is my retirement fight. The only fight that's going to get me out of retirement is Frankie Edgar in New Jersey in bare knuckle fighting." So we heard it from Jimmy, and then David Feldman at the post-fight press conference said, they're going to do whatever they can to get Frankie back in there. It just didn't work out. The timing wasn't right.
Interesting. But again, it would have to be in New Jersey, I'm sure, for both. I can't imagine Frankie, that interested in doing it, because when I saw him in the hotel when the UFC was up there, basically he said it's not mostly, but partly because it's right up the street. It's in New Jersey. It's his family. It's friends. Mike can be there. And I'm looking forward to seeing Mike again. So it would have to be that, but it wouldn't be rare for them to go back to New Jersey, go back to Philadelphia, so that is possible. But how about the crowd? What was the crowd like? What was the reaction like?
The crowd was, they were loud. There was about 10,000 people in there, which is a pretty good showing for a BKFC event. Lots of police officers for Jimmy Rivera. And I think there was another fighter who was also a police officer there. I forgot who it was, though.
Why?
But what's that?
Why?
Why what?
Why did Jimmy Rivera need police?
Well, he's a cop. He's a full-time police officer, so he brought his whole town.
I thought it was security. I'm like, what do you do?
That's what I thought. I was thinking it's not. You didn't say for Jeremy Stevens. You said for Rivera, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
all right, they were there. I got you. I thought you were saying for security, not for support.
Back to blue.
Yeah. And then the New Jersey State Police, they sang the national anthem. They had the PBA honor guard there. The drum roll guys were all cops. There were so many cops in attendance. It was hilarious. It was the trooper number 1 from the state police sang the national anthem. So it was a blue night in Newark, New Jersey.
Rate his performance on a scale of 0 to 10. What was the singing like?
I'd give him a 4.
Okay.
He was very nervous the entire time, and his microphone was shaking. I noticed he was shaking. He was so nervous. And I'm sure he sung the national anthem a million times. I figured he was nervous in the beginning, and once he started singing the song, and his nerves would go away, but they never did. It was interesting.
Let me ask you a question that has nothing to do with BKFC. And since you travel a lot, Matt once ran off an airplane. He hasn't flown on one that I know of. Tell me if it would bother you if the person sitting next to you we'll start with, takes their shoes off.
It depends. I mean, are they wearing socks?
No, we'll say no socks.
If it's a woman, I won't care at all. But if it's a dude, yeah, I don't want to see your feet.
Okay. What if they're wearing socks?
Yeah, then I don't really mind.
Okay. Would it bother you if the person next to you was, or across the aisle from you, picking their nose?
No, that wouldn't bother me.
Okay. Matt, would that bother you?
No.
I could keep asking questions and questions. Would it bother you if the person next to you, who happened to be sitting next to me, was painting her face as the plane got ready to land?
Painting their what?
Her face. Putting all her makeup on, all that crap on the plane.
That actually does bother me.
Why?
It bothered me.
No, it bothers me because it's like, you have time and there's a bathroom with a mirror in it. Give me a break. When I commuted to Manhattan every day, when I lived in Jersey and had to work in Manhattan, there was nothing more annoying to me than seeing a woman put her makeup on the train. It's disgusting.
If Ryan Bader was sitting on a plane next to you, putting on his makeup to go into the smashing machine, I'm sure you wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I would.
No, you wouldn't. If Ryan Bader had his shoes off, picking his nose, getting his makeup ready to go into the smashing machine, you would not have a problem with it.
I would punch Ryan Bader in the throat if he did that.
Too bad you missed the earlier segment.
I would punch Ryan Bader right in the throat if he was barefoot next to me, putting makeup on on a plane. I would punch him in the throat.
Did you go to the New York premiere of the
And
Smash
Aaron
Machine?
Simpson, Aaron Simpson would thank me for it. Did I what, Randy?
Did you go to the premiere of the Smashing Machine in New York?
I did not. No.
No. You should have gone. It's a decent movie. It's not great. It's not awful. Because we live it, we've been around it. It was funny. The head commission, the guy who runs the athletic commission in Nevada, shows me a picture. He goes, "Yeah, this is me." They used a clip when he was a judge. Now, it wasn't because he was the judge, but he was judging one of Mark Kerr's fights. He's now the head dude in the state of Nevada, and he's got that half a second clip, on the movie. But, you and I were there. We lived it. We saw it. We know what Kerr and Coleman, and I just thought the guy playing Boss Rutan was awful. Thanks for the laugh. All right, top of the hour. Stay right there, Mike. We'll be right back.
What's up, Mikey?
What's up there, Matty? How you doing?
What's up, boy? I'm good, man. Chilling, hanging out, trying to make myself the modern day Abraham Lincoln.
Why are you doing that?
I'm trying to free people, man. I'm trying to free more people than Lincoln ever did. So, because like most people, people now aren't caged and shackled, and it's not physical restraints. People now are caged here neurologically. So, just trying to get that freedom device out to the world and help people with life and trauma and fears and anxiety.
All right.
So
sounds interesting.
Yeah, man. Plus, if you look at the mitochondria function, there's 50,000 atoms of copper in your powerhouse of your cell. So they took copper out of our society since 1982. So pennies now are just zinc and composite, but back then they were made of copper. It was a healing property. We used to carry it on our person. We used to pay the commerce and at the store. So we were healthier as a society when there was copper on our body. And so I'm creating a fundraiser, like a donation 501c3. It's called Be a Rising Star. People can donate their change and their jars of change, useless coins that people will never use again. And they can donate it to a good cause, and they can collect a bunch of copper and hopefully find some rare pennies. In 1945, when the war, they rationed copper. So the military rationed all the copper. So 1945 steel penny is worth like six figures.
I feel like I'm losing brain cells right now.
What are you talking about? It's sitting in jars and people's cup holders and then their ashtrays if they still have them in their car. And when's the last time you ever carried change outside the house? Like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store. Let me just grab my coins. So like digital currency. So
I can hold my whole life savings in the palm of my hand.
And then, look, if it's before 1982, it's a healing property. You get to get healthier doing that.
I carry change with me everywhere I go in case my whole life savings.
Yeah. But it's called a penny for your thoughts. So people can pay for advice, and then I give them my 2 cents. And then there's a special wheat penny that was made from like 1900 all the way up. But it's significant because of the way our wheat and our crops have been contaminated over the years with glyphosates, herbicides, pesticides. Where in Europe, if you go to Italy and eat, people don't get inflamed. They don't have the gut inflammation or the celiac issues. And that's from the crops. It's from the chemicals, not the wheat. And so, it's symbolic of the movement and the freedom device and everything we're building.
Does your wife kick you in the nuts every day? Just when she wakes up, just kicks you square in the nuts just because?
Probably.
She should, because if she doesn't, she should.
Yeah, but all those.
What the hell are you talking about? Like, you just come up with me. You're the king of the non sequiturs. Like, you are going off as if I said to you, Matt, what's this thing with copper? Is copper good for you? Should like
We're deficient
just
in
come
it.
up with this stuff?
Most people are deficient in it.
Five-year
look,
survival rates were significantly higher in Medicaid expansion states.
And checking Wall Street, stocks are higher. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 150. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
Hi, Martin Grammatica, talking sports with Randy Harris.
They have bathrooms for that.
what, for stress test? Look,
Yeah.
it says boss on it. Could you imagine if you had a job that you hated so much that you had to have a stress stalled or, oh, I hate my job. I hate my boss. Could you imagine like you had to have one of these, like get through your day?
Yeah, I've had jobs like that. And I've had people around me like that.
You know what's funny about what you said about Boss Rutan, Randy, is that you ever see the movie Here Comes the Boom?
Yes.
The guy who played Boss Rutan in that was terrible too.
Yeah. Similar actor. It was a similar actor. What I don't get is, so Mark Coleman was too old to play Mark Coleman. But the actor who played Boss Rutan wasn't too old because he's the actor who played Boss Rutan is the same age as Boss Rutan. Exact same age.
I don't know why they just didn't cast Boss Rutan as Boss Rutan.
Because they thought this guy was better. Oh, I thought it was funny. A lot of people have no idea, that if you're not an MMA fan or an old school MMA fan, you wouldn't know Boss Rutan from a hole in the wall. And Boss Rutan played Boss Rutan.
Oh, he was in the movie.
Yeah, he played himself. And he did a terrible job.
I thought you were joking.
It wasn't convincing at all.
No. Yeah.
But why didn't Mark Coleman play Mark Coleman? Why didn't they have Mark Coleman play Mark Coleman?
Well, I'm sure because Mark Coleman is 30 years older than what he was when the movie is depicted.
Well, with the makeup and the lighting and the angles, you could have made like Mark look like he was 30 years younger.
But Boss Rutan didn't look a day over 80. So, I mean, I don't know, why they, but whatever. I mean, it's a decent movie. What I don't understand now, I've talked to some of the MMA media that was there, and they agree that Dwayne Johnson will be nominated for an Academy Award for this.
Oh, because the MMA media is authority on who's going to get nominated for Oscars.
I didn't think it was that awesome of a performance, but I also don't watch movies. So I don't know if partly it's because the rest of the movies are awful, but somebody in the know who watches movies says it's already hands down who's going to win it. And maybe you know the movie. I don't. It's Leo DiCaprio. Is that how you say his name? I don't know the movie that he's in, but he supposedly does a phenomenal job.
It's probably Girls Gone Wild. I mean, if it's Leo, it's, he likes those younger chicks.
I'm not touching. I'm not looking. I'm not answering. I'm not.
Either am I.
But where's Joe Francis at? What happened to that guy?
Who is
Girls Gone Wild guy?
He was in jail for tax evasion, but that's the only thing they can get him on.
All right. So before we move on, anything else you want to bring to the table about BKFC?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So Conor McGregor was also extremely in rare form, in rare form in a good way. I think they're really taking this promotion very, very seriously. I think they got some big plans for it. They got the fight in Rome coming up, but David was talking about a fight in Vegas that he's very excited to put together. Things are moving in the right direction for them.
For sure.
We have all seen promotions come and go, and I think this one is going to stick around for a long time.
I do too, but just like I was critical, and I'm still critical of the UFC when Dana said that it'll be bigger than the NFL. And it is possible because the UFC is global and the NFL is trying to go global. They're trying to do a couple other countries and they're going to build it up. I don't foresee the BKFC selling for billions. David made the comment that it will be the biggest, at some point. I think you need to start maybe doing bigger arenas then. Bumping up the attendance. They're having 10,000. It's sellouts, which is the same, buildings that the UFC has been in. So that's no different. But
I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I mean, they can make it look like a much bigger crowd with angles and so it's all about streams, right? I mean, Paramount, the $7.7 billion UFC deal is all about streaming. So I think the BKFC can compete. You don't necessarily need people in attendance, especially with now today. I mean, most people don't want to go out in public. They don't want to go around large crowds. It's a safety issue to be out in a crowd of people at a festival now, random violence or whatever. So I don't know. I think they can compete. I think it's set up for the future. I mean, it's definitely a much better gameplay. It's a much faster action, and it's more exciting to watch on TV than the UFC. And with Mike Perry being, obviously the face of the promotion and also having his own promotion, Dirty Boxing, they just announced a rule change in Dirty Boxing now that it's a 1-point deduction for hugging. So if you are going to wrap your opponent up and hug and slow down that fight or the fight action, it's now automatic 1-point deduction for that in Dirty Boxing.
I'm not saying I don't dislike it. If you want to keep the action going, you force, and that's going to force it. It's like what about missing weight? You should automatically lose a point. Put you behind the 8 ball. You have to win all 3 rounds, in order to win. Unless you make the penalty big enough, like they said all last week, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, and if you don't make the penalty big enough, why would they stop?
Well, what's the difference between clinching and hugging?
I think clinch is behind the neck. Like you're controlling the neck and the spine, the vertebrae.
And throwing punches.
Hugging is more wrapping up just to stop punches from hitting you. So I think it's the wrap up. I think it's the hug, not the clinch. The clinch is more of just a control thing to still be able to tee off shots with the other hand.
Right. You could still throw punches on a clinch.
Yeah.
You
on a
can't,
hug, you're not.
You can't throw or really receive if you're hugging them because neither of you can throw punches.
Listen, I don't know. If I'm getting punched in the face by Mike Perry and the best thing I could do is hug him to stop him from punching me in the face, I'll take the point deduction.
Let's go to the scorecards and the winner between Mike Perry and Mike Straka. 50-19, Mike Perry.
At least Mike won. Yeah. No matter what, Mike won.
My nickname will be Huggy Bear. Mike Huggy Bear Straka.
We talked a little bit earlier, Mike, about the White House card. Who would you rather, if John Jones is able to get on that card, who do you want him to fight? Aspinall or Pereira?
Aspinall. He beats Pereira.
Yeah, that's
John Jones beats Pereira easily. It's not even a contest.
So does that hurt the future of Pereira?
No.
Okay, then that's the fight they're going to make. That's my prediction. You can't have John Jones. You can't have John Jones go fight Aspinall, beat him, and then retire.
Why not?
Because then you've ruined Tom.
No, you haven't.
Sure,
He
just
lost
like
to he lost to the best fighter. He lost to the best MMA fighter ever. That's
hold
not
on a
the
second.
reason your
Hold on a
career.
second, Mr. Expert. Goes back to vintage days with myself. What would have happened to Anderson Silva had Chael Sonnen won that fight?
They would have had a rematch, and Anderson would have beat his ass.
Maybe. After you lose, you know this.
You're talking about UFC 117 in Oakland, California?
Yeah, where he tested positive, where he dominated 6 minutes of all 5 rounds and lost in the last 2.5 seconds. I think it would have changed the direction of Anderson Silva.
Listen, Chael Sonnen could have also beat John Jones when John Jones' toes broke. He wouldn't have been able to fight.
Okay, but that's different. That's not Chael testing positive. Chael would have won the fight by DQ or no, he couldn't continue, whatever. So it doesn't necessarily change. I'm just saying For Chael to have won that fight and then lost the title because he tested. Now Anderson doesn't have the title. He has to fight it back. It just changes you. Just like, as you know, after you get knocked out, you're a different fighter. Anderson losing to Chris Weidman. Okay. Then he came back, lost again. I just think it would have changed a lot of things. I think if John goes there and fights Aspinall, and I think he still wins personally, but if people think Tom would win, I don't think Dana makes that fight. Dana's already said he's hesitant to put John Jones on the card.
So he's hesitant to put John Jones on the card for other reasons.
No, I understand that, because he's afraid he won't show up.
Exactly.
So you can't, that would be the main event. If John fights Alex and Aspinall's on and Harrison's on and, it's loaded with other title fights, John, and I honestly think you put John, whoever he fights, on the prelims. I was arguing with Joe Marquis yesterday. Think about this, knuckleheads. What if John Jones, whoever he fights, is the first fight of the night?
Okay.
I'd love that.
I'd love it too.
So now you don't have to be overly worried. It would still be bad, but I'm saying it's not the main card. People will have their asses in the seats. All the dignitaries will be there for the first fight. They'll be there from start to finish. That's one way to guarantee everybody's butt in the seats before it starts.
Listen, I think you're onto something, Randy. I think they should make the main event the first fight in every fight.
You're such a knucklehead.
They should. Every time I want to watch a fight and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and they still haven't gone on, it's brutal, man.
I'll tell you why that doesn't happen. For the same reason when Steve Linné and I went to go see Five for Fighting. And the guy gets up there and he says, all right, this is your show. Whatever you want to hear, just let me know and I'll sing it. You make the set list. And everybody screams out 100 years. He goes, except that, because as soon as I sing that, you'll all leave. That's
What's the difference? If I were a performer, man, my night's over earlier.
Sing one song, it's over?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why don't you stagger the fight? Like co-main event starts the fight card off. So and then you do a
there should
prelim.
be you draw straws. The fight card should be decided. You draw a straw. Whatever straw you get is the order you fight in.
What if John Jones fights the state of Nevada for all of his legal issues? That's the first fight of the White House card. Fighting for his freedom.
I've never been arrested in Nevada. What are you talking about? Your state of New Mexico, maybe, not Nevada.
I thought he got in trouble in Nevada. Didn't he have car wrecks out in Nevada? Did he do some?
No, he didn't.
What?
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did something. He did something in Nevada.
Yeah, he got in trouble in Nevada.
Yeah, he did.
Sure.
That's why Dana said he didn't want him fighting in Nevada anymore.
Yeah. I think most of his issues have been in Nevada.
So who do you want to
behind
see?
the 8 ball?
Who do you guys want to see on the card? If the one person, who's that one person? And let's rule out John Jones. Let's rule out Conor.
Okay. Ooh.
Live radio. At least think out loud. Think with
One
words.
person. Man.
I think it should be one fighter from each nation represented. It should be like true.
Is it past, present, or is it one of those things where if you're going to interview one person in the history of the world type thing?
No, we wouldn't say that because then we'd all want to see Jesus fight. Do what?
I'd like to see a fighter from North Korea, versus South Korea. I think that would be a compelling fight.
That's called the Olympics, Matt.
Right? Yeah, make it like the Olympics. It's at the White House.
No.
What's the one
each
fighter?
country gets one fighter to represent their nation.
What is the one fighter that is a must to be on this card? Has to be on this card.
Whew.
I mean, I know who mine is. No questions.
Okay, go ahead. It gives us time to think.
Without any doubt, Derek Lewis has to be on the White House card.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has to.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be the main event. He doesn't have to be on the main card. It doesn't matter. Derek Lewis has to be on that. And I don't know anybody that I can think of that needs to be on it more than him. Are there better fights? Topuria be on it? I already said, we won't say Conor. We won't say John Jones, Kayla Harrison. There's a lot of names that need to be on that card. I need Derek Lewis on that card.
Okay.
Sugar Sean O'Malley?
I agree with that. No, I don't need O'Malley in that card. His
Why?
ugly hair. Anybody with cornrows in their hair is disqualified.
Come on.
No, come on, dude. No.
Clay Guida had the corn rolls too.
He had to. He was
Well-
because he was getting points taken away because judges thought he was getting punched in the face when he wasn't.
I know that. I used to say that from day one. He lost a fight that he won because judges thought that. They saw the sweat flying off his hair.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the same fighter with the cornrows. I liked him better as the caveman.
I'm still waiting on your guys' answer. What one fighter do you think is a must to be on the card?
I'm going to say Volkanovski.
All right.
Guy's awesome.
Not awful.
He might be my favorite fighter now.
Really?
My favorite fighter. Yeah, he's a tough little dude, man. Man, hold on a second.
Matthew?
Yes.
I'll go with Matt Hughes.
God, you're an idiot. Day in and day
Why?
out. You're just an
Why?
I mean,
the country boy can't survive. The country boy can't fight.
That's why you're not going to the White House.
Oh, stop it. All right. I mean,
I gotta go, guys. I gotta run. Sorry.
All right, go ahead, Mike, because the other guy's an idiot.
All right, I'll talk to you guys. That's not why I'm leaving. I gotta go because my sister's here and she's calling me and she's.
Oh, you're
yelling.
leaving. I thought you said you got one to go. Okay, get off. It's good.
All right, guys.
All right, see you.
Yeah.
That is Mike Straka. He's got to go. Matt, you got to go as well. So let's go hit this break. Coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. Matt in his living room. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Stuff.
This is Lynn Swan, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
You want to have a drink? Where do you go?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it?
That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field. Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Check out fantasypets.com, where fantasy meets cutting-edge technology. We create breathtaking 3D printed fantasy creatures that captivate hearts and minds, from the T-Rex to the dragons and the shark to the crocodile. Every fantasy pet is a testament to our dedication and precision and quality. You can request custom designs and bulk pricing as well. Go to fantasypets.com. That's fantasypets.com.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
Hey, yo, this is Ricky Waters, and you're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris.
All right, we are back hanging out here in Pinellas County, Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. Give these guys a call if you need any AC work 24/7. I prefer 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Give them a call, 727-954-3605. And as we speak, Joe Marquis and his team at my house putting a new roof on.
Oh, yeah?
West Coast doing their thing.
Nice.
We'd like
Very
to welcome
good.
them as a sponsor of the show, so I appreciate that. And
Very
things
cool.
are rocking and rolling, working on the audio, the video, everything on the YouTube channel is really going very, very well, learning how to turn things on and turn them off and hit all the buttons properly. And the streams are going. I just checked it. It's pretty nice.
Tell Joe Marquis I need a job. I want to sell roofs up in my neighborhood.
No, he doesn't want you to sell them. He wants you to go up there and do the work.
Nah, I can't do the work. That's too much work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't really like heights that much. Like I'm not one of those people that really enjoys being
Work.
up on a roof.
You don't really.
outside.
You don't. You
No, I
don't
like
really.
being
enjoy
outside.
work.
I don't want to be up on a roof. I mean, what if I fall? I don't want to be up there.
Every company's insured.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just not worth the risk. Like, like that's the thing. I guess about getting older and smarter. It's like a lot of jobs are like risky to the human body. Like, obviously those are risky because of fall and physical damage, but like cooking in a commercial restaurant is so dangerous. Breathing in vaporized grease and breathing in flour and mold and toxicity. Man, people don't realize how that can take your life. I mean, do you know who Jordan Peterson is, Randy?
No, I know who
He's
George
like
Costanza is.
No, but Jordan Peterson, he's a big YouTube podcaster. He's been on Rogan's show a lot. He's on Andrew Huberman, the Huberman Lab, but he's like a psychiatrist or psychologist, big time name. But apparently he's been on ICU for the last like month, like unable to talk, unable to basically live. And it comes from like years of mold, of exposure to mold. And, if you learn anything from Ben Askren, and it doesn't take much for the respiratory system to shut down, and you end up in the ICU and fighting for your life, and who knows what life is afterwards. So it's at this age, at 50, trying to find a career that isn't harmful to the human body or risky is tough.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, like I want to work. I mean, I want to have a job, but I also want to live forever. I don't want to like shorten my lifespan because of a paycheck.
All right. So what job would be suitable for you?
Well, that's a good idea. I think anything outdoors.
A gay 900 porn line.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm good at. That's what I trained for. But I think being outdoors, outside, anything with natural sunlight, being exposed to fresh air, sitting indoors in cubicles and like office settings with fluorescent lighting, and is not the way that human beings were designed. So
construction. Go get a construction job. Go get a construction.
Yeah,
job.
but they're breathing too much chemicals from like the drywall and from like the dust, and I mean, that's a hazardous career as well.
Be a flagger. Be a flagger. That's where you stand there with the sign, stop, go.
Okay. Now we're talking. No, that's not a bad idea.
All right. I can get you that job.
Flagger. Can you really?
Yeah.
Dude, I would do that. Of course I would do that.
Okay.
All you have to do is you have to do 2 words, right? Slow and stop.
You don't have to say a word. You got a sign. Yep. You flip it back and forth.
I'll practice. Like I even got my own training device, like help with strengthening my wrist. Here we go.
Yeah.
So put me in, coach. Look, you give me a flagger job, I'll take it.
You know how long it would be till you quit? One day.
No, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I did construction for 4 years through college. Like I was a land surveyor. I used to hike through like undeveloped territory to find property points and property markers, like out in the middle of cornfields and swamps and rivers and whatever. Man, I did road construction and subdivision design. I did all that. You think I couldn't do a flagger job, bro? All day.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Give me the job. I'll put. People in the flagging world, right?
I do, as a matter of fact. You know what else I know? The UFC's back in action this weekend.
Are they already?
Yep. It's another weekend.
Do we have any fighters on today?
Well, no, it's in Rio, which we still should. Now that we're doing it this way, we should be. I'll have to talk to them about even when they're on. Yeah, I need to follow up with that. See, we could have had Charles Oliveira on.
Yeah,
Montel Jackson has been on before. He's your co-main event. A bunch of names that you can't pronounce.
Might be able to. Brazil's my second home.
I'm going to say you can pronounce. Oh, Muhammad Usman's on.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't realize Muhammad was still fighting.
Yeah. He's fighting Walter Walker.
Speaking of Muhammad, last time I saw him was at the CFFC at the State Fairgrounds in Tampa.
Good
I'll
for
be
you.
there Friday night for the next CFFC event.
I will not.
Why? Where are you going?
I'm going to be home.
You're not coming to the CFFC?
I am not.
Come on. Come on. It's local.
It is local.
What else you got to do on Friday night? What does Randy Harris do on a Friday night for leisure?
Well, last Friday, I was at SLAP. That's what I did last week. This week?
I think you should come. Do you have tickets? Do you have extra tickets to give out fans?
I have nothing.
What?
We got no fighters. We got no credentials.
Where's John Morgan at? Did you see him?
We got no interviews. And I talked to John Morgan yesterday, and I said, I'm sure Matt will stop and say hi. I'm not going to be there. So,
yeah.
All right, tell me
That's
about the
your guy.
card. All right, you're going as a commission. Who's fighting? Who's on the card?
I never look at the card. It doesn't matter who fights. I get to sign my fighters. I don't care who they are. It's because if you have favoritism or you have any kind of like
You're right.
inside knowledge, it's a bad look if the fight goes wrong and they bring up questions to the commission. So I don't know until I get there. I don't know who's on it. I don't know who's in the corner. If I do know the fighter, like perhaps I trained them in the past or I know them personally, then I ask the other commissioners to switch fights with it, just so there's no conflict of interest, because I don't want to be in the middle of any kind of interrogation or question.
I understand that perception, and we've talked about this, I can't get an amateur fighter on in case I'm a judge. I get that perception, but what could they possibly perceive? You're in the back. You have nothing to do with the fight if you happen to know a fighter.
But if I'm watching them,
how could
if
you
I'm watching
say
them,
anything?
So if I'm watching them in the back and I'm letting the coach, break the gloves in to give
Wrap
them
differently.
Wrap them different, or add too much gauze or too much padding, or use a different type of tape that's more elastic, that makes it more compact. So so there's different strategy, or putting chemicals on the glove to burn the eyes of the opponent, scented oils and such. So
Is that prison time? Is that prison time if you get caught?
I don't know. I don't know. It would probably be a civil lawsuit for sure.
I would hope it would be prison time, whether it's you or anybody else. But how about asking? Ask Billy or Jerry or whatever his name is.
It's Tim Shipman, the commissioner.
Tim.
Yeah. But I take my job very serious. I don't want
the only job you've ever taken. It's the only job you've ever taken serious.
Because it's life and death. Literally the state of Florida has tasked me with a job that my job is to protect the fighter at all times. So in case they're concussed or slurring their words, fighters want to go out on their shield. The coaches have money invested and prize purses at risk. Family want their fighter to continue. The crowds egging it on. So, my job is to protect the fighter at all costs, regardless of outside influence.
I didn't know you went to the ring or the cage. I thought you were just in the back.
No, I walk them in. I'm in the ring. I'm in between rounds. I have to, put my head through the ropes to look at their pupils, to listen to their conversation, to find out if they're slurring words, if they're coherent, if the coach is giving them instruction and they're in la land. I have to throw in the towel and stop that fight.
So would you have caught Rocky Balboa when he was cornering Apollo Creed's son, and they asked him, who was it? Was it him that tapped him on the back? I think it was. I think Rocky taps him on the back of his neck when he says, how many fingers do I have up? Would you have caught the trainer doing that?
I never saw the movie, so I don't know.
Yeah, so he can't see. He can't see. He's got blurred vision. The ref comes over and goes, how many fingers do I have up? And I think it was Rocky. I don't think he was the fighter. I think he was the trainer. He taps him on the back 3 times. And he goes, 3. He goes, okay, you're good to go.
If I saw that, I would have the medical staff come up to the ring. I would have them evaluate them before they went back out to start the competition. And then I would let the commission make that determination, if they thought it should be stopped. But yeah, if the fighter is not coherent and conscious or they have no vision of, like a Terrell Davis situation, it's infamous where he went in, he was concussed, he couldn't see, but they're like, the play won't work if you're not on the field because they'll know it's not a decoy. So you have to go in and John Elway scored a touchdown or whatever because he was the decoy, but he couldn't even see for that play.
So what's the big deal? If he wasn't involved in the play, what's the issue?
Well, I think the world was a different place back then. The league was a different place back then. The priority of fighter safety and neurological damage was different back then. Now we know too much. We're seeing the side effects. I mean, look, you talked about Brett Favre earlier throwing the picks. He probably doesn't remember it because now he has Parkinson's. He's diagnosed with Parkinson's, and it's due to taking thousands of head shots and trauma and concussions over his career. And more athletes, former athletes, retired athletes, are going to continue to decline rapidly as they age.
Google this weekend's card. I want to see how many names you can pronounce properly.
All right.
So if you can get that up, UFC Fight Night. Oh, the main event ain't too bad. Anything with Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, that guy's a beast.
Of course, it says it's different, and then it goes to that. Interesting. Yep. So how many of those? God.
So your main event is your lightweight bout, Charles Oliveira versus Gamrot.
Oh, you're not pronouncing first names. It's just whatever name you can pronounce.
Mateus.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it's pronounced. But go ahead.
Davidson Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson.
All right, you got one of those right.
Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez.
Those two were easy.
Johanta Diniz. I don't know that.
Right.
Denies. Mario Pinto. Ricardo Ramos versus Khan Offley. Lucas Almeida.
Hold on. I want to write that one down.
Well.
Hold on. I want to write that one down because we
Which
want
one?
OFLI. How do you pronounce that? Okay, go ahead.
Lucas Almeida versus Michael Aswell. Rafael Filho versus Clayton Carpenter. Vito Petrino versus Thomas Peterson. Bia Mesquita versus Irina Aleskova. I don't know. It's a Russian name.
It's pretty bad when even you say you don't know. You can't even fake your way through it.
Lucas Roca versus Stuart Nico. Walter Walker versus Muhammad Usman. Julia Polastri versus Carolina. Oh my God. Kaliki. I don't know.
Mama
Kaliki. Dude, just
early start time, right? This is an early start
versus
time.
KK.
I think the fight started early, right?
7 p.m. Eastern time.
So that's regular. So no. All right.
The Farmaci Arena, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Saturday, October 11th.
Right by the favela.
Yeah, well, everything's in the favela in Brazil.
I'm going back. I'm going to the next one.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Brazil this month, but immigration, like the Trump administration and the politics and whatever, they started making everyone have a visa to go to Brazil, even their own nationals. So like my kids that have dual citizenship, my wife dual citizenship, they now have to have visas to come into the country. So it's been a mess with trying to get the passports and visa in time. So
I think
doesn't look like we're going to go.
I think the four of you should go and they should keep you there.
What do you mean?
Your wife and kids come back and they should, import you there, not deport you. They should make you stay. What would you do? What would you do for money? If if your wife and kids came here and you're in Rio?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, look, I got to stay with the neuroscience. It's the future. Like most of the people I talk to don't even understand that the brain and your mind are two different entities. Most people just think it's the same thing. But the brain's an organ, and if it takes damage, if it takes trauma, it definitely hinders other cognitive abilities that you have in your life, from hand-eye coordination to critical thinking to, believing in faith or connection to a higher power. It's directly related. So, man, I'm so far ahead of the curve. I'm an alien, and it's going to take. Yeah, I mean, there's people that I talk to that will never ever catch up to what I already know about, neuroplasticity and neurofunction, and so as much as it's a great place to be, it's also very lonely, and it doesn't make a lot of money yet because people aren't investing in their brain health. They're not investing in their neuroplasticity. They don't even understand the neurofunctions or how to train your brain. That you can actually use physical stimuli to activate different regions of your brain. Like, I know it sounds crazy, Randy, but do you know what the VMAT2 gene is?
I do not.
So that's your worship gene.
Worship?
We actually have in our DNA a gene that's identified in science. It's called the VMAT2 gene. Now, ironically, it spells Matt in the middle. It's VMAT, so Matt. But it's our predisposed human trait of believing in the superpowers or imaginary figures. Like, starts out innocent as a kid, Superman, Batman, Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy. But as you age, it becomes more of like a religious factor, like a God or Jesus or Buddha or Allah. But I believe you can actually stimulate it with the vertical conditioning, and in conjunction with cleaning up your gut health, your microbiome, clean up your body's temple, the one vessel you get to carry your Holy Spirit with on earth. That cleaning up your body's temple gives your brain's temple a better connection to a higher power. And you can do that on demand. You can actually stimulate that with breath work, kind of like yoga. Have you done yoga before?
I have. I've done DDP yoga.
So the same thing, when the chakras are aligned, when your vertebrae is aligned, you have better energy flow. It opens you up consciously with breath work to connect to a higher belief system. That's the power of yoga. That's the power of meditation. So you get all of that at the same time on the Freedom device.
There was different motivation for DDP yoga.
Okay, what are they?
DDP.
That's because he's your friend.
It was kind of like, I will do whatever. I'm not stopping.
So how come you don't give me that kind of respect? Like how come an old wrestler that was just like a knucklehead on a ring performing, doing an act, like how come he is more credible than your co-host that you've known for 12, 13 years? How come you're not like so excited about what I do for a living versus what those guys did?
I'm not sure your wife is excited about what you do for a living.
My wife just wants me to make money doing what I do.
Right. And you don't make money.
Well, that's the problem. I can't, people don't even have the consciousness yet. They don't have the intellect yet to even know what I do. The learning curve is so steep. I can only have a conversation with there's literally 4 people I can probably call right now and have this kind of conversation with that understands mitochondria function and copper and powerhouse of the cell.
The best part about your rant is it's over. It's time to hit a break.
Look at that. Look at that.
Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8-Man Strong and Staff Zone. Please come back with anything else to talk about than what you just bored everybody with. We'll be right back.
This is Patrick Waugh from the Colorado Avalanche, and you're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris.
8-Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8-man strong.
Rhino Cards, located at 406 11th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, is your one-stop card collection facility, specializing in all sports, Pokemon, Star Wars, and of course, Knockout Radio's favorite, the UFC cards. If you're looking to purchase, sell, or trade, then Rhino Cards is the place for you. Details are coming on some very awesome UFC card giveaways, thanks to Rhino Cards as well. That's Rhino Cards, conveniently located in St. Petersburg, on 4th Street and 11th Avenue North.
This is Randy Harris for Mick for Hair at Got Split End Salon in Pinellas Park, our official hair care and grooming provider who caters to everyone, women, men, kids, and senior citizens in an affordable, upscale environment staffed with the most talented professionals in the business. Visit Mick for Hair at Got Split Ends today at 4376 Park Boulevard in Pinellas Park, or call up at 727-290-9873.
Got bills and looking for work but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
This is Pound for Pound, the best fight in the world, Floyd Mayweather, and you're talking sports with Randy, the best in the world, Harris.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. Just hanging out here in the studio. Matt hanging out in his bathroom. Leslie under the weather with COVID. And I think I saw the greatest play in the NFL season to date, and it'll be very tough, in my opinion, for this to be beaten. The Jacksonville Jaguars playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Did you see that play? Trevor Lawrence fell down, got up, fell back down, got up, and then scored a touchdown.
The greatest running quarterback of all time.
I don't know about that.
That was the greatest play of all time. I mean, he looked like a wounded deer, like
did.
Like one of those baby deers with his legs like scrambling.
In the way he galloped, and I won't say the greatest of all time, but I believe that touchdown. I mean, the one I think of as well is the John Elway in the Super Bowl with the helicopter deal, and gets in, was impressive. But him falling down, I think the one of the linemen stepped on his foot. He falls down, he gets back up, he falls down again, he stumbles, gets back up, and then scores a touchdown. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, Ed.
I was get two things. I would say that matches Doug Williams throwing a touchdown from the seat of his pants when he was on the ground to Obradovich, I think it was, whatever it was, 1982, I think it was.
All right.
Because Doug had fell down and was on his behind, and he threw a touchdown pass anyway. And then also, I know Chris Jones is taking a lot of heat, the lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs, because he stood there and just kind of watched it, and they were like, "What are you doing standing there?" I think when he saw, what's his name on the floor on the ground, when he was on the ground, I think he thought the play was over.
Right.
I think that so he's taking a lot of heat for that, but I honestly think he thought the play was over.
And I thought it was at first too.
Yeah.
But that's why
he's going to just be touched. He's just got to be touched.
Exactly.
That's it. He's done. So.
Exactly. And sometimes it's, even before you fall, you don't know what the refs are going to call, so you should play it out, and then see how it plays. But also, talking about a Jones, I don't think we've discussed the passing of John Jones's brother,
Arthur,
former NFL player, former Super Bowl champ.
39 heart issues, just like Randy Harris.
Yeah. Just like me.
Just like you. But
Pereira, hold on a sec. Pereira did show some class because he's been trying to call John Jones out. He wants John Jones on the White House card, and when it was brought up at the post-fight press conference, he said, "I'm not even going there. I'm not even worrying about that. I'm not talking about that. They need to, mourn and everything that they're going to do, and we'll just talk about tonight's fight. So,
Well,
big
he
up.
also did a moment of silence for the crowd, and so the whole stadium went silent, right? From what I understand.
You know what? He's gaining fans daily, just by his demeanor. The last people you would ever, I should have started the show with Chama. Everybody starts everything now with Chama. He starts the fight, ends the fight, starts the press conference, ends the press conference. And he's a likable guy. And his demeanor all week was so different. And you could see how motivated he was. Not that they're all not motivated, but I liked him in that fight before, and definitely he did what he needed to do, and he did it quickly.
So going back to best quarterback plays of all time, what about the Hail Mary, the Doug Flutie pass? And speaking of Hail Marys, here is your God gene for those fact checkers out there that actually are interested in the VMAT too.
I'm sure
and that's what I'm talking about. We can actually stimulate this through nutrition and through physical stimuli to give people the Doug Flutie effect. Because you know how many prayers were answered when Doug Flutie threw that Hail Mary? See, religion and football go hand in hand, Randy.
No, they don't separate.
Of course they do.
Church and the NFL.
No, but I think it's one and the same.
That's not.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think those Trevor Lawrence Hail Marys to Travis Hunter have been answered all? He just lobs the ball up and Travis goes and gets it.
Shut up.
You haven't seen those plays?
Oh my God.
The greatest quarterback receiver duo of all time. That's what my sources are telling me.
Okay.
They're telling me that
that's not even the greatest quarterback wide receiver duo in Jacksonville. And I'm not even talking about Jacksonville history. I'm just saying in Jacksonville, period. But how about Kansas City? People are still picking them to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they fell off. But then they made too much money. There's no more excitement. It's let's go. Travis is going to get married. Mahomes is going to go back on Sesame Street. And all is well.
I don't think so. I don't think things are well in Kansas City.
Yeah, but they made too much money. Those guys, when they're done playing, they're what's the incentive now? I mean, he has a $500 million contract. More injuries, more surgeries, more risk of brain concussions. At what point do they just say, all right, we're done? Walk away and live their life. I think you see that a lot.
We do see that a lot, but I don't see players playing right now with that mentality. I don't think they're half-ass in practice.
Is there still a badge of honor like an Iron Man, like a Brett Favre, like a Cal Ripken Jr., Pete Rose? Do you still see that kind of badge of honor? I played 20 seasons and I gave it everything I got on every single play, and I'm tough. I don't see that now. The money's too great.
No, I agree with the money is substantial. I think as long as they're playing, they do. Maybe towards the end of that final year when they know it, they may go through the motions and such. But I don't think that they continue it on. I mean, I know people saying that about Travis Kelce, that his heart and his mind and everything's not in it. I don't know if that's the case. It's just, once you reach that mountaintop, you can only stay at the mountain so long, and then you start dwindling back down. And that seems to be the deal with Kansas City. And what's the deal with the Eagles? Everybody was saying that's the sure, NFC representative in the Super Bowl. And now they're like, oh, there's problems. Oh, they're struggling. Oh, they're this and that. But I still think Philly is the team, to beat out there.
I mean, I don't know. I think Detroit's starting to click. They got that major, debacle in their first week with the Packers, but the Packers fell apart. They didn't seem to be as dominant since that first game. So I think Detroit's still the team to beat this year. I think you're going to see them in the Super Bowl this year and maybe win it all.
I just declined going to Detroit next Monday.
Why was that?
Just some things, I need to look at a few things. Need to look at the heart monitor again, make sure it's still there.
Okay.
And
how do you feel, by the way? How's the health? Any issues? Pressurization of the plane? Anything bother you? Any foods upset your?
No, foods do nothing. You know, I got to wait and go to the doctor November 1st, you know, when my insurance kicks in. Everybody needs insurance, but this isn't Canada. So we'll deal with that later.
But your health is good overall? You have good energy? You're sleeping better? You feel any more? You have less energy, more energy?
Same. Nothing's changed. You know what was cool? We'll make this sports related because nobody cares about my heart issue or your freedom. When I was in Seattle, it really was cool. And I got to experience this in Philadelphia once too. Stadiums are literally right next to each other. So when I parked, there was commotion going on out on the streets. When I left the Seattle Seahawks Tampa Bay Buccaneer game, you had the Mariners game going on with Detroit. Yeah. And it was literally a 32-second walk from the press box, you know, on the ground level of one stadium to the other. And that was cool. It was electric. But people told me there wasn't a whole lot of hoopla for the baseball playoffs, you know, whether it was down at whatever it's called, Pike's Market or Pike whatever. There wasn't a whole lot of Seattle garb there. There wasn't any Detroit garb there.
Isn't Cal Raleigh like the superstar of the Major League Baseball right now?
Yeah.
He's like the hottest player.
The big dumper. Yep.
With the exception of Aaron Judge, you know, like hitting that dinger off the pole last night.
Why is it called a foul pole? If it hits it, it's fair.
Same thing. I would just say same thing with the uprights in football. If it hits it and it goes in, it's good. But the foul pole just means that it's on the line, I guess.
But shouldn't it be called a fair pole? Because if you hit the pole, it's fair. Or, you know, it's probably too long to say if it's left of the foul pole, it's foul.
I don't know.
One of those.
Back to the football game on TV, it seemed like there were a lot of orange jerseys there.
There was some. You know, I even posted while I was there. And I'm all for, if you have tickets and the visiting team comes in and you can triple, quadruple your money, sell them. But when the Eagles were here, there was way more Eagles fans in Tampa than there were Buck fans in Seattle.
Well, it's an attractive offer for people from Philly to come to Tampa. It's not as attractive from people from Tampa to go to Seattle.
It's a longer flight. It's a longer
I knew a group of about 10 people that went, but they do that every year. They go one long trip,
and that would have been, you know, and it was, and I went. It was one of the games I wanted to go to. I like Seattle. The weather was unbelievably awesome. You know, I got to go do a couple things. You know, I got in 8:30 Sunday morning, flew home 1:30 Monday morning. I got a cool bunch of stuff done, but yeah, there just didn't seem to be a whole lot of orange there. I was surprised.
Did you see Mike Chiesa while you're out there?
I did not.
No Chiesa sightings.
No Chiesa sightings. No. I think there was a couple other UFC fighters that are either from out there, but would you live in Seattle? Do you like the area? Like, do you think, because it's misunderstood, right? It's like Denver, where everybody thinks if it snows so much, you have to have a snow cap because of the movie The Shining, and that you can't live there around the whole year. So, like, is it always raining in Seattle? Is it always gloomy and depressed? All right, we got 2 minutes. We'll worry about that next hour. Ed, do you have any updates on? I know that the sale went through of the Rays. I know they had a press conference that they didn't notify us about. Any updates on that?
They were introduced yesterday. The managing partner and two of his assistants, if you want to say CEO and the other guy. They're first of all, they said that they plan on looking for a stadium. They're going to look at different sites. Basically, the Rays will be locked into to Tropicana Field until 2028. They'll be locked in. So because, you know, it's 2025 now. By the time it is 2026, you got to find a site, then you got to have somebody draw out plans, and then you got to break ground. So I think it would probably be the 2029 season, probably, until the Rays are in a new home. But they said they're going to be competitive. So I didn't hear anybody say. What I would have asked is, Listen, the old management or ownership had their way of doing things. How much are you going to change that? Now, I didn't hear anybody ask that question, but that's what I would have asked.
Well, I'm not even sure 29. It may be 30. To think that it can be built in 2 years, even before you start build, like you said, you've got to find the ground, you got to get the plans, you got to get everything approved, permitting, so and so and so and so.
Yeah, and they said it will absolutely be a dome stadium. They said they talked to too many owners around the league that have the retractable roof, and they said it's more problems than you need. So it will be a fixed roof.
Well, that'll be good for those Rays fans and baseball fans. They can go see games in Tampa, stop off at Matt's house for a drink, and then hit the stadium, wherever that dome stadium is going to be. Good stuff. All right, 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Ed, have a good afternoon. I know you're about ready to walk out the door, just like I'm going to do with Matt. I'm going to walk out the door and let him do the last hour by himself. That'd be fun. No? All right, I'll hang out. All right, let's go to break. Coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. This is Knockout Radio. I'm here in Pinellas. Matt's in his living room. Leslie's under blankets, suffering again. And we'll complete hour number 3 when we return.
This is Franco Harris with Randy Harris on Knockout Radio.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived through lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
WTAN Clearwater
FM 106.1,
WDCF Dade City
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Authorities in Los Angeles have charged a man with starting a blaze that became the deadly Palisades fire back in January. Michael Wallace reports.
29-year-old Jonathan Rinderneck allegedly ignited the fire on New Year's Day. It exploded 6 days later, killing 12 people and destroying 6,800 homes and businesses. Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley says investigators have found digital evidence,
including the defendant's ChatGPT prompt of a dystopian painting showing in part a burning forest and a crowd fleeing from it.
Rinderneck is charged with felony destruction of property by means of fire.
Former FBI Director James Comey pleaded not guilty today in a criminal case that his lawyers insist is politically motivated. He's charged with lying to Congress 5 years ago. CBS's Scott McFarland has the latest.
The defense says they're going to be filing their motion to dismiss this case, alleging it's a vindictive prosecution, and they're going to do so by October 20th in relatively short order. They also say they're going to file a motion to disqualify or seek the judge to disqualify the prosecutor in this case, who was just appointed, the new U.S. attorney here, Lindsay Halligan, appointed by the Trump administration after the prior U.S. attorney wouldn't bring this case forward and was ousted.
The government shutdown continues. The two sides no closer to getting an agreement, but Caitlin Huey-Burns reports the political wrangling is complicating efforts.
Republicans did have a strong argument heading into this, which was, look, this is just a basic, clean extension of government funding, and there's no reason that Democrats shouldn't agree to it because it's something that they agreed to in the past. What's complicating some things, though, in terms of their messaging is the messaging coming from the White House. This idea of laying off workers, not just furloughing them. Talking yesterday about not giving back pay, even though that would be against a law that was passed in 2019 after that last government shutdown.
Texas National Guard troops spent their first night at a U.S. Army Reserve Center in Illinois as the state challenges their deployment. Reporter Asal Rizai.
A source tells us the Texas National Guard is expected to begin their assignments before that court ruling, which is expected tomorrow. The source says the Illinois Guard will wait until after that ruling comes down to deploy.
The first wife of the late Senator Edward Kennedy has died, Joan Kennedy. She was 89. She struggled with mental health issues and alcoholism for much of her life. Her son Patrick praised her as an advocate for addiction recovery. On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are higher. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
Hi, this is Bert Sugar, and you're listening to Talking Sports with Randy Harris.
All right, we're back. Hour number 3. Maybe we'll talk about something exciting in this segment.
I got something exciting to talk about.
Well, I was hoping.
I'm going to be maybe a competitor to your boy Alex Weghorn. It looks like I'm getting into the tobacco game, into the cigar game. They need a new face.
Okay. So what does that mean?
Just going global, man, international. This whole thing about being a job, nobody really wants to have a job, right? It's more about being like a sponsored athlete, an influencer, someone to be a trendsetter, someone that helps people get healthy and incorporate their favorite hobbies into like a lifestyle that's fun and exciting. So cigars is that. So nootropic, and there's no neurological benefits to nicotine and tobacco.
And when are you going to start smoking?
Well, I don't smoke, so I don't light the cigarette or the cigars. I use it as a training device for getting more oxygen internally and to get healthy. And
so a cigar company is going to hire you to not smoke their cigars.
To create a market for people who love look, there's a big trend in the world, right? People are starting to not drink as much. I mean, rest in peace, Joan Kennedy, notoriously reported that she was an alcoholic and suffered from, dependency on neurotoxins. So, people are starting to wake up. People are starting to wake up to the damage and effects that they did to themselves voluntarily. And cigars, as much as it's a status and as a symbol of success for, fighters. Every time, there's a McGregor event, you see Conor light up a cigar in celebratory fashion, and, executives and yachts and, the lifestyle. But inhaling vapor and smoke, you have to do it in moderation. So if you learn how to use it without lighting it, and then you smoke it sometimes when it's a special occasion, but the rest of the time you're using it to get healthier, there's a big market for that. There's a huge market for that. Unlit, untapped market, I would say.
I would say the chance of a cigar company hiring a brand ambassador who doesn't smoke their cigars is probably on the negative side of 0.
I have the interview tomorrow at 4:30. It's a global company. It's out of Spain. This is a global reach. Look, you're going to see, man. I'm going to change that cigar industry for a positive one. No, I'm not kidding. Look, I got Santa Claus and start non-smoking. You've seen the Rip Santa. Like, he started non-smoking since he met me. In a video, he's got a cigar and it's not lit. Non-smoking is the trend, bro. We need to get you non-smoking, Randy. Help you out. Get you a little bit of anxiety relief. Calm you down so you don't get so stressed out. Control your heart so you don't go into cardiac arrest.
I'm not stressing out about much anymore. Kicking stuff to the side.
Have you ever smoked a cigar?
No.
But Tampa's the home of Cigar Factory. I mean, that was the number one.
What's that got to do with me?
You're born and raised here. You were here when the cigar.
I was not born here.
industry started.
I was raised here, and it's kind of like I had to talk to somebody. I didn't have to, but somebody called from Medicare asking, trying to sell me and this, that, the other. And I said, I'm good. I'm all set. I don't have it yet. I don't need it yet. And he starts bringing up things that he's done for retired vets. And I said, I'm not retired. And he goes, well, but let me tell you what I can do for retired vets. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not a retired vet. What do I care? Same thing. I've never non-smoked. I've never smoked. It's the stupidest thing ever, in my opinion. And good luck. Travel in the world non-smoking.
We're the greatest job of all time. Let's see here. Oh, 4:30 Madrid times 10:30 a.m. Tampa time. Oh, I can do that. It's easy for me to. Hold on, I got to send this email back.
You are such an idiot.
I'm gonna.
I can't believe that a company would not try to sell their product to be smoked.
Look, well, because just like alcohol sales, alcohol sales are down. I work for Pure Culture Vodka. I'm in
What
the
does that
liquor
have to do with?
stores.
What does that have to do with what I just said? So
Because
what are you going to say? You're going to say it's better for you not to smoke these cigars, just to chomp on them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're going to piss off 90%, 98% of their customer base, as you're going to say it's awful to smoke these.
No, it's not awful to smoke them. It's just moderation of smoking. Just like I work for Pure Culture Vodka, you can still drink. You can still drink neurotoxins. You can still enjoy it for the neurological escape or whatever enjoyment it brings you. But you have to do it in moderation.
Would I be able to escape these conversations with you if I drank that?
No, but if you don't smoke, you don't want to light and inhale vapors. But if you could chew on a cigar and get a benefit of relaxation and anxiety relief, you could still be part of the boys club and hanging out at the after parties and the UFC or whatever. And you've got the camaraderie and the fun and the excitement. And remember, cigars are statuses. Where it's grown, where the tobacco leaf is from, like what country it made. Like, there's a stigma behind it that's cool. There's a cool factor, right? So you could the shorties and the stubbies and mixing the different tobacco leaves into like different strands and braiding them together. You got patterns and designs. There's a lot to it. It's not just about lighting a cigar and smoking.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever. That's okay.
I would say it's more status than it is about like enjoyment.
You think so?
Don't you think so? I mean, when Cuba cigars were illegal and you weren't allowed to have them, you had to know somebody who had access or blah, blah, blah. There was like that risk factor, that underground kind of like, and it was like if you had enough money or you had enough connections, you could get like some Cubans on the low, right?
No,
I'm just saying.
Am I supposed to respond to that? Yes. Okay.
I'm just saying. You were in Cuba. Like, did you bring any Cubans back with you?
No.
Cigars, I mean.
No.
You didn't smuggle any.
Or humans.
You ever seen the Seinfeld? Remember when he brought the Cubans,
No.
like, and he had them in the drawer? Oh man, it's one of the classic scenes of all time. Like, he was talking about like you had these Cubans, and they were like, and he had them in a dresser drawer in his bedroom.
You mentioned Aaron Judge earlier in the conversation when we were talking about the big dumper out there in Seattle. And I was watching on the Four Letter Network, and they're like, this is a guy who produces season long and then comes up short in the playoffs. They were getting ready to, I don't want to say basically be eliminated, but it wouldn't have been good if they would have lost that game. And he hits a ball off the fair pole.
Mm-hmm.
Or would they have been eliminated? Was that game 3? Yeah, that was game 3, right?
Yes, I don't. I was 2-1 now.
Right. So it's a 5 game. Is it a 5 game or a 7 game series? It's baseball. I could care less.
I don't know. I don't watch it.
I'm rooting for.
I did watch the Tiger game though.
I'm rooting for all the teams that nobody wants there. So whoever comes out of the other side, nobody wants Philly or the Dodgers. So I don't even know whoever's in it on the other side.
Oh, speaking of Phillies, what if I got a job working for your hometown team?
Never happened.
I mean, it might.
Well, it won't.
You don't know that.
Well, I can make a phone call to make sure it doesn't happen.
Could you?
Yeah.
Why don't you make a phone call and make it happen?
Well, because
you got that kind of pull.
Well, because I want the Phillies to continue being one of the better organizations. My favorite sports team in all of sports. If I ever were to wear a logo, it would be of the P. And yeah, you can't be involved.
If the Phillies hired me to be their mental health trainer, like that's the open job posting on Indeed right now. They're looking for a mental health expert to join their clubhouse to help the athletes with the highs and lows.
A degree. I'm sure a degree might be helpful.
So the director of the mental health, she was a trendsetter, but she was introduced as a mental health expert into professional sports. Deanna, she is out of Philadelphia. So, but if they hired me, not only would they get the mental health aspect, they would also get improvement with their physical abilities, with velocity and grip strength, hip mobility, obliques. So not only would they get the neurological support, they would also get the physical support, and they would be absolutely the best team in baseball.
The best support they could do is deleting your email.
It's not true.
That would be what would be best for the organization of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Deanna Nobleza, the director of the mental health organization for the Philadelphia Phillies, sent my resume over to the hiring manager to discuss this possibility. So, and it's based out of Clearwater. I don't have to relocate. I don't have to travel. I mean, I do have to travel with the team, but yeah, you might see me in Clearwater, Randy, a little bit closer to home.
Neg it.
You're welcome.
Neg it.
Question is, like, what do you want me to write to you? Like when I get my jersey with my name on the back, and I give it to you as a gift, what would you like me to write on the back?
Just forget my address. Mental.
I'll inscribe it to you. Oh, the mentalist.
Your jersey would say mental. First of all, you wouldn't wear a jersey.
Well, I wouldn't have a jersey because they need me to go in and play. It's like somebody gets hurt.
Oh my God.
I always got to dress up for the show. Listen, when we go for the tennis, if Johnny McEnroe is there and he goes down, I'm ready to step up. You know this, Randy. I'm always ready. Zlatan goes down, I'm ready to put in the Major League Soccer, put me in. I always wear my cleats, when we go to media events.
So when you drive Bryce Harper mental, then you'll just go in and play first base for him.
I mean, I don't know if he'll need me to play first base. Like first base is where the non-athletes are kind of stationed, right? I mean, after you gain too much weight and you're not able to like really play baseball anymore, they move you to first, right? Isn't that what they did historically? Like outfielders that couldn't run fast or gain too much weight or wasn't that the strategy in baseball? Like after an athlete was basically at the end of their career, first base was the last position you could really play on the field before retirement.
Ask the Boston Red Sox that, and if they'll still put somebody like Bill Buckner at first base.
Didn't he let the ball go through his legs or something?
Well, he didn't let it. It went through his legs. He didn't do it on purpose.
Is that because he was too out of shape to bend down and get it?
No, he bent down. He just did bend down like an old man.
But am I wrong in that? Isn't that the history of baseball? Or wasn't that like kind of the strategy clubhouses used?
No.
What?
No.
You think Big Hurt Frank Thomas could like play outfield or third base or short?
No, he couldn't play short. He could have caught. You
saw him stand up at the liquor store in St. Pete.
Yeah, that's 15 years after he played. They don't care what you're going to.
He didn't even have to squat down back then. He stood vertically. He wasn't even a squat.
They don't care about future. They only care what you can do then. If it's going to 15, 20 years down the road, it's none of their problem. You're already out of the league. You've moved on.
And that's why they need me to be their mental head coach. Like, their head trainer. That's what people hire me for, Randy. Look right there. The head trainer at Knockout Radio. It's on the screen.
All right. Well, we're gonna put resumes out. We're gonna go on LinkedIn and see who applies for the head trainer job here at Knockout Radio.
Okay.
We'll compare.
They don't have the experience I have. In fact, I would have to educate them on what neurological training is. They don't even know. They don't even know what mitochondria is. You don't even know what mitochondria is.
I'm trying to take a nap. Stop waking me up. So let me tell you. Let me tell you what happened at the airport.
All right.
So I lug all my stuff to the airport. My flight is at 12:45 a.m. Monday morning.
Okay.
I'm sitting there with a bunch of other people that are flying to Dallas and then continue on to Tampa. I fall asleep when I don't know what they're called, the agent comes over and says, "Are you not flying to Tampa?" And I said, "Yes." And I looked around and there wasn't a soul there. All the people that were there are gone.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, oh, it would have been nice if somebody woke me up before the plane left. They go, no, we moved the gate. And so I saw people that were leaving, hurrying. When I say it was on the other side of the Seattle airport, it was better on the other side of Seattle, period.
Wow.
Okay. It was brutal. I get all the way over there, and I'm now over there with about 14, 16 people, and we're wondering why nobody else is here. We went up to the attendant there. We said, yeah, we were just told. They go, it wasn't moved here. It's the plane is where you just came from.
No way.
So I asked the people on the tram to please film what's about to happen, because if that plane's not there, I will be arrested, and I would like the video for my YouTube channel.
Wow.
It also has caused me, not that anybody cares about this, but I will be purchasing some new luggage.
Okay.
I will no longer carry a duffel bag anymore. It will be on wheels.
Why is that?
Because I almost died of a heart attack carrying all that crap.
Yeah. So have you had any blow-ups on a plane lately?
Nope. I didn't punch the lady that was painting her face.
No frustration, no heated arguments with like ladies in wheelchairs, nothing.
Yeah, there was something. What was there? It'll come back to me after the break. It'll come back to me. But there was, God, what was it? It'll come to me. So something was. Oh yeah, it was on the plane when they bang into you with those drink carts, right? So I'm sleeping. They bang into my elbow. I wake up and the thing's parked next to me. So I'm trying to talk to the guy. He keeps ignoring me. And then when I asked for something to drink, he said, don't be so impatient. We'll get to you. And then he pulled the cart away and left.
You know what would be a great addition to that drink service cart is cigars that you could non-smoke.
Oh my God, shut up.
Look, on the plane, it says no smoking. This is a non-smoking flight. You can't smoke. It's a federal regulation. You cannot smoke on a plane. But imagine if you could get a little short, fatty, and you could get the flavor, and you could like get the breath work, and you could just get the relaxation of anxiety relief. What if my new job, I get a contract with the FAA to make non-smoking legal on flights?
Well, it's not illegal.
Sorry,
it's not illegal.
So that's it. So we get the airlines to carry our product to sell cigars on the plane. And then you can non-smoke all the way to your destination.
You can do that now.
Yeah, but they don't make it accessible. Like you can drink on a flight, but like you have to buy it from their cart, right? You could carry alcohol on your carry-on, and no one would know. So
well, you can't drink it. You can carry it on, but you can't drink it.
Okay, no one takes the little mini bottles on every flight. I mean, I'm sure if you clean a plane for a career, every time you like open the little pouch in the back of the seat in front of you, most of them have little vodka or Fireball or Jägermeister, little minis.
But I would say that most are not smart enough to put it in the pouch of somebody else's seat.
Well, what do they care? Right? They've already deplaned. They're not going to send you an email like, we found this in your seat. Like, nobody does that.
I believe it's against the law, so they could.
Well, they go to the bathroom and then they throw it away. Okay. I mean, so what?
Just like
what I'm saying is, non-smoking on a plane is a cool concept.
I'm going to continue with the comment that I will continue saying, you are a moron. Let's go ahead and break. Coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong, Staff Zone, and Matt's Non-Smoking. We'll be back.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tug McGraw talking sports with Randy Harris. Hope you're listening in. Have some fun.
Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
You're hungry. Where do you go to eat?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
You want to have a drink? Where do you go?
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Having a get-together with the guys from the softball team? Where do you do it?
That's right, Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Located at 1320 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, right across from Tropicana Field. Berg's is the best place to take the whole family for food and fun. Going to a Rays game? Have dinner before the game at Berg's, and after the Rays win, come and celebrate with all your friends at Berg's, right across from the Trop. So come down and see Berg and the whole gang at Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Berg Sports Bar and Grill.
Check out fantasypets.com, where fantasy meets cutting-edge technology. We create breathtaking 3D printed fantasy creatures that captivate hearts and minds. From the T-Rex to the dragons and the shark to the crocodile, every fantasy pet is a testament to our dedication and precision and quality. You can request custom designs and bulk pricing as well. Go to fantasypets.com. That's fantasypets.com.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, if you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8 Man Strong.
Hey, this is Dylan Hart Jr., and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
All right, we are back hanging out here, getting ready to close down another quarter of the show, coming to you live from the Cool Breeze AC broadcast facility. Available if you need their help, 727-954-3605. They can come out when you need them. They can come out if you don't need them, so that you won't need them. If you call them out now to make sure you won't need them down the road, it's better than losing your AC and having to call them to come out.
Do they do refrigerator repair as well? Because I got a freezer.
I'm going to pretty comfortably say no.
But if you could fix an AC, you could probably fix a refrigerator.
I don't know. I don't know how to fix either one of them.
Well, why don't you ask? You're in the studio. Well, just pull that curtain to the side and like, hey, Mitch, you know how to fix I think it's just a fuse in my freezer.
I don't know, but the studio, Joe Marquis will be here in 2 weeks. Going to put a roof on this thing. Going to put some TVs in here, allegedly. We're going to build up a nice little studio. Open it up a little bit.
All right.
Bring some guests in. All is good. All right, this segment's yours. Go.
Man, I've been talking all day. It's no guest. It's weird. Just Ryan Bader. But I don't know, man. What do you want to talk about? Just
who's going to be in the World Series? Who's going to be in the World Series? Tell me.
Well, don't care. It's not exciting to watch. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I'm going to say the Dodgers.
Okay.
They have the best baseball player in the history of the game.
Well, congratulations to the Dodgers for winning this year's World Series. It's North American Championships.
It's not.
The new owners of the Tampa Bay Rays announced that they're not going to do a retractable stadium. That they talked to other owners, in baseball that have retractable domes, and they're like, the maintenance is a pain in the ass. So do not do that. So your thoughts on a dome stadium being built in Tampa?
It makes sense. I mean, the heat, the rain, all that kind of stuff. I mean, people have talked about it, for years, and it was a dome, at the Trop, and it'll be a dome elsewhere. It's nice. I think it's cool to go there with an open stadium. I'll tell you what, that stadium in Seattle, the football stadium, which it's not a dome, but it's just open, was so beautiful. But who's going to pay for it? That's what I want to know. Who's paying for it? As long as you don't have the citizens of Hillsborough County, state of Florida pay for it, I'm against taxpayer money building these stadiums and arenas.
Yeah, but the draw, if they talk about 150 events a year in this new stadium, it brings revenue to the area. It brings jobs to the area. It brings tax money and revenue from like hotels. And, so, if the residents pay for it, don't the residents benefit from it, from growth and expansion?
Not really. How do they benefit
You
from
talk
it?
about going back to like the first segment with Mike Straka, I was telling him that I'm the modern day Abraham Lincoln, right? You're talking about pennies on taxes. It's like fractional pennies that they raise taxes across the board for all purchases or what have you to build a new stadium. I'm okay with giving away some of my pennies, to have a beautiful stadium that makes more events and make the area more attractive and make my home value go up in value. Of course, like USF is building a football stadium down the street from my house. Like it's going to make USF a major player in collegiate sports, and especially collegiate football, with how they beat Florida this year at the Swamp. So having a brand new state-of-the-art arena stadium on the campus up by my house absolutely adds value to my property.
I disagree.
What?
And I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
USF and your spiel that you just said, which is so full of crap, is kind of like Southwest Airlines. Okay? Southwest Airlines has been bragging for decades. No seats, no charges for bags. That's what makes us best. Now the commercials are, hey, hoopla, assigned seats. Do you know what USF has sold to their football program? You're playing in an NFL stadium. You're playing in the same stadium as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're in the same locker room as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The visiting team, you're in an NFL stadium. Now, because they want to build their own stadium, now it's going to be great. We have our own stadium. Why would an athlete give two craps that they have a brand new stadium for USF? Please try to explain that, mental health expert.
Well, because there probably won't be alcohol sales.
So that's not good. That's bad.
It's going to be good by the time the stadium is built because people continue to not drink like they were. College kids don't drink like they used to. College kids aren't going out and getting completely trashed and smashed. Look, Joe Rogan went out drinking with one of his buddies, and his friend was so smashed that he couldn't put together words. And Joe Rogan on his podcast, the JRE Experience, said he looked over at him and he's like, I think I'm done. He's like, I just don't have any desire to lose my own motor skills and cognitive function with alcohol and to get to a place where you can't put together a sentence. And he just said, that was it for me. And then he's like, I'm done. And so I think more and more people are going to follow suit.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's not in college.
Right.
Joe Rogan's
but his influence.
Joe Rogan's not 22 years old. Try telling a 22-year-old to
They're
stop.
not drinking. They're not drinking. Look, there's a show called 4 Seasons on Netflix, and it depicts 3 different married couples, and the older man gets divorced and married a much younger woman, and he tries to fit in with her circle of friends at 30, but he's 60 or whatever. And so when it came time to go celebrate New Year's Eve and he went to buy all this alcohol, they went to the party and all of the friends, they were all doing vitality shots, like wheatgrass and wellness and and healthy. So yeah, I think you're going to see by the time that stadium is built, alcohol sales at concession stands will be very little to spike the meter at an NFL stadium or at a college stadium.
What does that have to do with USF's football team? What
That's
does
that's the only advantage to having the home games at an NFL stadium, because the contract for the concessions is the fans can buy alcohol to watch sports, like to watch college collegiate sports.
When
If it was on campus,
when USF was selling to collegiate football players, it was, you will be playing in an NFL stadium.
that doesn't matter. They cared about the revenue from the fans because they could buy alcohol because it was an NFL stadium, not a college campus.
I understand that too. No, I understand.
That's a bigger deal.
I understand it. And my
But
daughter
that
went
revenue won't be
my
missed
daughter
by
went
the-
to UCF that had the stadium right there. She walked out of her apartment and 6 steps she was there. I understand the attraction to it. My problem is that you sell it one way when that's what you're doing, and then now it's better. Finally seats are assigned. Yet that's not what you've been promoting for decades. Finally,
you always have to promote your strengths. Like until you get new advantages, then you promote that. I mean, that's what Southwest Airlines doing. They had to charge for baggage and seat assignments because it was chaos. People rushing to get on the plane first and pretending to have injuries or debilitations or whatever to be first in the plane. I mean, you know how people are.
well, that has nothing to do with bags.
Wow. But I'm saying, like, it costs, there's overhead. The planes have to fix costs, and they got to cover fuel regardless of how many flights are sold and how many people are on a plane. So it just makes sense that they pass that cost on to the consumer.
Unless you have a Southwest credit card.
Oh.
Then bags are free.
Nothing is an incentive.
So I have to get a Southwest credit card before Super Bowl.
But you don't think that a stadium in Tampa, state of the art, brand new for the Rays, doesn't add value to the owners, the property owners of Hillsborough County?
No, I don't know what one has to do with the other.
This makes it more attractive to be a resident of Tampa.
Really?
I think Tampa's a better side of the Bay. I mean, there's a 3-city triangle: Clearwater, St. Pete, Tampa. I think Tampa is superior by far to the other two.
I think Pinellas is superior to Hillsborough. The beaches, the restaurants. Granted, they have restaurants in Tampa as well. They have a Longhorn there, so I'm excited about that.
I saw your people get arrested yesterday in Clearwater.
All right, who are my people?
It was a buffet, all you can eat, and the young man spent 5 hours there. He wouldn't leave, and he kept eating more food, and it was all you could eat Chinese buffet, and they called the police. So the body cam footage showed a young man being asked to leave the restaurant because he overstayed his welcome.
Unless there's a time there. Is there a time?
I mean, that is all you can eat. I don't think.
Well, no, I've seen some that say 2 hours.
Okay,
it's all you can eat, 2 hours. So if there was a time limit and they exceeded it, then
they get a time limit. I got about 10 minutes left before I got to go pick up the kids.
No, not 45. You leave at 50. That's the contract.
All right, 50. I'll do 50.
The contract's at 50.
My daughter's in the playoffs in volleyball.
That's great.
Like, what's crazy? Like they didn't expect them to win. So right now we don't even know if there's a game today because we were the underdogs and we weren't supposed to win apparently. And they won. So now they're scrambling to find a court time. But we're in the playoffs.
People care more about Major League Baseball. So let's run that down real quick. And the Yankees could have been swept. That was game 3. Normally you would turn your mic off before you do that.
Damn, I was still on there.
Blue Jays up 2-1. The Mariners are up 2-1. The Brewers are up 2-0. They play today. And the Phillies are getting ready to get swept as they're now out in L.A. The Dodgers are the best team. I think they'll beat Toronto. Be a great series. And what if the Cubbies come back? I don't see them coming back from Milwaukee, but But
if Toronto wins the World Series, I gotta eat my poutine. I'm gonna have to eat my my embarrassment of all this time of talking trash about Major League World Championship. You know, it's only a North American league with one outlier. But if Canada wins the world title, I got to change it. And,
Toronto's won before, and they're in North America.
So I guess I'm still right. It's the North American World Championship.
You're still an idiot. I don't understand how you say that when there's international players. It doesn't matter where they play.
Bro, I just saw a thing today that said, congratulations to the U.S. The U.S. Math Olympics or whatever championship team, and they were competing internationally, and the USA team won in the photo. They beat China finally, and all the winners on the USA team were Chinese. I showed my wife. I'm like, look at this.
All right. So is that an international championship?
Yeah, because every country had a chance to participate, I assume.
But every person has the opportunity to play in the Major League Baseball. They have the opportunity if they're good enough.
Yeah, but it's not that. It got to be like a country has to register. It's got to be like in the Olympics. It's got to be universal. That's why I want Donald Trump to allow the UFC card to like have every country puts in the best fighter from their nation. And then they compete to see who has the best fighter on the planet.
Yeah,
be like a United Nations at the White House event. It could even be like the night before. You know, like how like the Coca-Cola 500 or the Firecracker 400, or they have like the races like the before the actual main event, like the truck series or like the nighttime race or whatever. They could do like a round robin world championship to see who has the best fighter on the planet.
It's called the Olympics.
No, but for MMA, because MMA is not an Olympic sport yet. When does it become an Olympic sport?
Never.
Cricket's an Olympic sport this year, first time in 100 years.
You can't have and mixed martial arts where people do get injured. In boxing, they don't take the same types of injuries that you do in mixed martial arts. So you can have the box. I just don't. There's going to be injuries that people that are dominate the first fight. You can't go out and fight full force. It's kind of like the old UFC, with the tournament. And I just don't see how it's physically possible.
So what if you have like a 5-man team, and then you have brackets? So each time you send one of your fighters in fresh, so it's a 5-round bracket to like have one person that makes it through. And then they represent the team at the very end.
But what if Team America wants to send in the heavyweight, and the Cuban team wants to send in the super heavyweight, and the Russian team wants to send in the welterweight?
Well, as my martial art instructor always said, in the street, you don't get to decide the size of your opponent. So best man wins, or best female wins.
Best time wins, which means this is our final break of the afternoon. We will cut the show short early at the end so Matt can pretend like he's going to do his fatherly duties, but that's down the road. Right now, let's go hear a couple commercial breaks from 8 Man Strong and Staff Zone, I'm sure. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by those two teams I just mentioned. We'll be right back.
This is Ken Dorsey from Miami, and you're talking sports with Randy Harris.
8 Man Strong is not simply about the biggest or strongest. It's about those who have survived true lows, suffered, faced demons real or in their heads, and are fighting to come back against it all. If you live with a passion for greatness and strength and resilience towards all obstacles that may attempt to derail you, if you're bold and aggressive in the pursuit of the things you want in life, If you are meant to overcome everything that stands in your path of reaching your goals, then you are 8-man strong.
Rhino Cards, located at 406 11th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, is your one-stop card collection facility, specializing in all sports, Pokemon, Star Wars, and of course, Knockout Radio's favorite, the UFC cards. If you're looking to purchase, sell, or trade, then Rhino Cards is the place for you. Details are coming on some very awesome UFC card giveaways, thanks to Rhino Cards as well. That's Rhino Cards, conveniently located in St. Petersburg, on 4th Street and 11th Avenue North.
This is Randy Harris for Mick for Hair at Got Split End Salon in Pinellas Park, our official hair care and grooming provider who caters to everyone, women, men, kids, and senior citizens in an affordable, upscale environment staffed with the most talented professionals in the business. Visit Mick for Hair at Got Split Ends today at 4376 Park Boulevard in Pinellas Park, or call them at 727-290-9873. Got bills and looking for work, but nobody is hiring? Staff Zone is, as the leading provider of commercial construction, industrial, and special event staffing throughout the Southeast, Texas, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Kansas City, and many other locations. Staff Zone has plenty of work for you, and they need you now. Don't wait. Go to www.staffzone.com and find a branch closest to you. Work today, get paid today. That's the Staff Zone way.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tug McGraw, talking sports with Randy Harris. Hope you're listening in. Have some fun.
One of my favorite players right there, Tug McGraw. One of the few regrets I have, I was at Clearwater's, the Clearwater Phillies spring training game, and they were either auctioning off or selling the Tug McGraw game jersey. Went for like $200-300. I regret not buying that one. I regret not buying the Ray Nitschke one at Innisbrook. Two things I do want to bring up. Do you want to talk a football story or a football story?
Let's go football story.
All right. Do you want to talk about an owner football story or a quarterback football story?
Let's go owner, because if it doesn't work out, then I'll ask for a refund with the quarterback story.
Okay. I was going to, whatever you said, I was going to go the other way, but I'm going to stick with the owner. Jerry Jones has been fined for flipping a bird to a Jets fan.
All right.
And I don't know what's worse, him doing it, him being fined, or his explanation.
Okay.
Have you heard the explanation?
No.
His explanation is he meant to give a thumbs up.
Okay. Made a mental mistake?
Because your middle finger and your thumb are so close to each other.
Well, neurologically, it's a signal from the brain to the motor skill, so it could accidentally happen.
No, it can't. No. No, zero chance.
Oh, you never know.
Joe Flacco, your number one quarterback in Cleveland, has been traded, and he will start for the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend.
Okay, nice.
The only way Sanders moves up in the list from 3, he's now 2, because number 1 is now gone.
Yeah, and he didn't have to go very far. He just went straight south.
So Flacco will play the Bengals.
Stays in the same state. Speaking of state of Ohio, they just came out with a report showing that a lot of new car crashes, fatalities are now THC derived, not alcohol DUIs, but from impairment from marijuana THC levels. So Ohio has one of the biggest studies, to date that just got released. So thought that was a good tie-in. And speaking of quarterbacks next door, same cornfield, just different state line, same mentality, different state line, same place, different place.
Different state line.
Mark Sanchez, the Jets, former quarterback, getting stabbed in Indianapolis. A little road rage, a little parking spot flare up, and threw a guy into a dumpster, and the guy came back with a knife. So be careful out there, Randy. Those flare-ups in traffics and on planes can lead to getting stabbed.
Had a little parking incident in Las Vegas.
No doubt you did.
I pull out of the parking garage at Excalibur. Okay. I see a car pulling out of the open lot That's honestly even a better parking spot because it's closer to the building.
Okay.
All I see is the car pulling out. There is no other car anywhere. I drive up, didn't exceed the limit, nothing. I drove up. He pulled out. I pulled in. About 20 seconds later, a car pulls up behind me. It says that was my parking spot.
Man, people are crazy.
I said, where were you? Well, I've been circling for 15 minutes. I said, sir, I'm sorry to hear that, but you were not even on this side. I'm supposed to look on the other side to see if a car is circling. Well, I'd like you to pull out. I go, I will tomorrow morning. I mean, I'm not doing it now.
I mean, but is it better that or the people who back in, like they'll like stop the whole flow of the parking lot just so they can back into a spot that they already passed up? It's like, bro, like you missed it. Like you didn't see it in time. You already passed it. And get out of the way.
Right. But there was no road rage. You know, it was no big deal. It was no big.
I'll tell you what, being a carpool driver for my kids and my neighbors' kids, it's making me a lot better driver on the road.
Well, yeah, because now you'll get in serious trouble if you hurt somebody else's kid. If you hurt your own, it's no big deal.
Well, like that's why I took the logos off my FJ when I had Tour de Pizza, because they would often people call the restaurant. They'd be like, "Your delivery driver's an asshole. He just cut me off," and they're like, "That's the owner."
I don't think you meant to say a-hole, but whatever. This is FCC radio.
It's not a bad word. But so like having my logo on my Jeep with a phone number, and people would call and complain about my driving.
Well, maybe don't drive like a moron.
Well, now I'm a great driver because I'm not delivering hot pizza. You got to get there timely. If it's not there in 30 minutes or less, Domino's taught us that you ruin the pizza.
First of all, it didn't say they ruined the pizza. You got the pizza free.
Well, that's even worse. That's even worse. The worst than cold pizza is having to get free pizza.
But no, that's not true. I'll take a cold pizza all day long and heat it up.
Well, not if you paid full price for it.
You just said free. You just said a free pizza.
Yeah, it costs us money, the owners, like if it was there in later than 30 minutes.
No, I'm sure that was never your slogan. You never gave free.
No, but that was the greatest guarantee in all guarantees, though.
And then you were at the door hoping they wouldn't get there in time.
Right. I mean, but Domino's, they set the precedent. I mean, it was by far that was the greatest guarantee of all company guarantees. 30 minutes was less, or it's free.
All right. Any predictions for this weekend, whether we go NFL or we go the UFC? Which do you want to pick?
Go baseball because I gotta go. I gotta go get my kids.
You got to.
I'm gonna go. I don't care. Go UFC or combat sports.
All right. Read the card.
I'll go. I don't have it. I'll go Oliveira for the win at home.
I will too.
And everybody else that's from Brazil, I'll give them the win as well. Home field advantage.
And who plays the Dodgers? Will it be Milwaukee or will it be Chicago?
Chicago's not in it.
Yeah, they are. I believe Milwaukee's playing the Cubs.
Are they really? Cubs are still in?
So. I haven't seen it.
Oh wow. Yeah. Then I'll go with the Brewers.
Yep, the Brewers will beat the Cubs. The Dodgers will beat the Brewers. The Dodgers with the best team in baseball. I know Toronto had a better record, I believe, but the Dodgers are the best team. And they're going to have Ohtani coming in relief. He may not even start. He may be the relief pitcher. So who do the Dodgers beat in the World Series? Will it be Seattle or will it be Toronto?
I think Seattle's got the hot hand.
Just because of the dumper?
Yeah, I like the dumper. I think that's your guy.
All right.
If Ohtani can bring the Dodgers along, I think the dumper can bring Seattle along.
All right.
It'll be a West Coast series.
Then for that reason, I'm going to say Toronto. So it'll be Toronto, the Dodgers.
All right.
The left coast series is not going to be good for baseball. It's not going to be good for the media. People on this side won't care. Later games, that's all we need. So, all right, you got 2 more minutes. until you're out of here. So that way you can drive nice and slow.
Yeah, I gotta go
through the neighborhood.
I got obligations
because everybody knows that is you.
They don't know. Well, they know. Yeah, you can't really mistake the Green Monster. Forget Fenway Park.
Bucks 49ers this weekend. Who do you like?
Oh, Bucks got the hot hand. Like, why never bet against the greatest Buccaneer of all time?
Sapp's not playing. Sapp's not playing.
I say Bucks win it. Close game. Field goal. Well, last second. Cardiac Kids for the win.
Did you see what Todd Bowles said about the kicker? That he was sick. He goes, he was ill. He was under the weather. Not Michael Jordan under the weather, but still sick. I want him to be sick every week.
There you go.
So, all right. So let's end this bad boy early. We'll set up some more interviews next week. I believe the UFC's back on this side, so we'll be able to get some of them on. We'll do Victory Wednesday again next week, and who knows what else. So CFFC on Friday. Have a good time out there commissioning, and I'll have a good time sitting at home doing absolutely nothing.
See you, Randy.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Matt is out of here. I am out of here. The show will hit a commercial break right now, and we'll see everybody next Wednesday. Same bat channel, same bat time. See everybody next week.